CareFinder is a real estate company that focuses on property development within the Gambia. We pride ourselves with providing not just quality and durable houses, but also state-of-the-art designs tailored to our clients' tastes and expectations. Our unique experience and expertise is second to none in the industry. We are currently building and selling 3-bedroom bungalows at Sukuta Traffic Lights and Jabang. We're also building and selling 3-bedroom story buildings at Sukuta Paradise. Other sites are also in the pipeline. With CareFinder, payment options are available. With just 40% deposit, you can get your house started. For more information, contact us on 329-5188, 727-0049, 709-8418. You can also check us out on Facebook and Instagram at CareFinder. With CareFinder, you are assured of a secure investment.
Assalamu alaikum baɗigol ngali konton kale bismillah ko take momo be kerfado jibe ka nyin tembe Allah di grand bantaba programme mutanale ne min kanale arjuma ni wato sita nga molu be bismillah molu mi alon ko le kanyim programme no mo albe dawda ba fulale ko ala barka baki al kanyim programme no ma Gambia jang ani Gambia bantala. Thank you so much na sponsor mu CareFinder ti LG suñu ker ba fale be ko ala barka baki CareFinder ka korda wa fole ke Gambia banko kanjang na lafta korda la dawda la alsa no bulu bari ka wafiro wala ika loro fanan kale ne natra lafta korda la pour ka la korda lo isa lono wuci suton kono yalla korda chabo dialla watara almam bata fan ela lanno wata bakela gambianol mo nyoso so wala andila do ko la kenda gambianol ya jele wala na alila nombata screeno bala mi alon ko be tarabore kanje janim programme be banna aliye kumandi science aliye korda lo soro e korda lo rimbandi ngol fanan soto alenne mi alon ko be wafi kan alta LG fanan mi alon ko be tabit lan joran jama kende malu wafi kan ne LG be esil wafi kan ne anim fanalu mi alon ko original le mu Gambia banko kan jangal futata ila kundal to drum al se soro kende malu bari fana e television ngol soro le mi alon ko jaman laban television ngol le nali akella bunkono do mol si nyabo alla momodunta alla bunkono alta suñu ker fanan mi alon ko be bagas kende pal wafi kamil boko pentirolu Gambia banko kan jang andung nal futata je donc alsi pentiro soro mi alon ko nali akalla bungo bala ate fitala abita fo wati jama sama ya ma nyaw nyaade fitala ngibe tedduke je bake ka nyim programme o fasa ka sembentu yandi ke blodo nyim programme ko woto mutnale ne kote ani arjuma koten na nyim programme o to mi alon ko dunia be ka no ma min kere di grand bantaba programme o di nene welcome back.
Thank you, Wuwa. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Thank you, Konvuwa. Thank you. Kay, malin gina miss yi waxloo ne fiñ man fa la commencé. Dédé malin gina miss moo tax ma ñëw. Te so tey maa ngi naan Buuba dama am a very important assignment. Waaye su ma xalaatee fan si rek ma ne naka lañ ko reporté naa mission bi cancel naa mission bi ma ñëw toog mën a jàkkaarloo ñoom. kon di am kontaan ak mbégte rek di wa asalaamaaleykum wa rahmatulahi taala wa barakaatu di nuyu ñëpp ñu ñuy seetaan commencé ko si suma càmmeñ yu ñaawut yi suñ boos Buuba ak suma xaritu xol bi kay moom commencé na pour sol very ni ko Sénégalais si di waxee waaw am si rek moom waaw dafa toog si kanam mu réalise ne sant bi matut xaaral ma matali ko Pape Cheikh Diallo man boobu laa ko bëgg a utal nomade blue bi
parce que mu ne 1 million CFA la de
mooy yow ko nga 1 million CFA ñaata la a little bit over $100,000 MC yaa ëppal loolu yow tamit nag chéri aji roxi loolu ndaw la pour yow bul woore di nga sol nomade blue boo jaag nuyu naa la xarit suba xarit bi na moo la moo taalibo na fu mu nekk nii lekkut naanut nelewut toogul
président bi dafa war a ñëw laate ko daal they should mobilize a lot of people for the président pour ñu woon ko ne he has a lot of people
man taalibo invite ma mu ne pour ma dem si tool bi laate Kunda
you should go because they need a lot of people there da ngeen defar yoon bi but that is the only problem that I have yoon bu jógee booy dem si school yi laate Kunda bi gaa dañu war a bàyyi président bi mu jaar fa mu xam ne yoon bi baaxul
so ñu ngi ko defar ma ne taalibo be doko wala namo bula abe doko wala nim président o naata je asaje ko taalibo be doko wala may leen ko taalibo bu ngeen liggéey
loolu advance la président bi su jaaree dafa xam ne yoon bi baaxul
ma ne déedéet buuba ibu kaake wo ñaama
suuf léegi président bi su ñëwee
the president is coming président bi su ñëw yoon bi dafa war a presidential am taalibo to be presidential ko namo bula aba kan namo bula hay bare
kelelo to the last minute
di nuyu suma brother bi Dudu béy nañ leen ko ma ne déet bu ba Dudu su ñëwul duñ commencé nañ leen xaar waaw tey maa fi nekk Dudu foog mu ñëw waaw ku nekk ak sa bos kay di la dalal ba pare du naka buuba di nuyu suñ gan bi rek jaaral ko ci yow boo paree rek won ñi ñuy seetaan kan mooy gan bi tey waaye ñu ngi koo dalal di ko wax ne mu dal ak jaama fii mooy Grand Bantaba waaw grand guest la guest boo xam ne li ëpp ci askani réew mi moom foofu la bokka ñi moo waxal mu nekk ñi nga xam ne ñoo ëpp ci askani réew mi mu nekk askan boo xam ne dañ am important askan bu am solo askan bu am doole askan buñ war a ciral kon bu nit ñëwee toog fii pour waxal ñooñu kon kooku noonu dañuy am kontaan rek di kontaan di yaakaar ne waxtaan bi nag nit ñi ne ñu déglu ak xel bu ñu déglu ak xol parce que fu mu nekk nii xol yaa ngi jóg kawar yaa ngi taxaw nit ñaa ngi ñaxaa ñu ngi dóor ak daanu waaye waxtaan la ñun nag moom du ne dañuy far fen ñun suñ ay xalaat la ñuy wax ak suñ ay gis-gis di yaakaar ne nit ñi dinañ ci seet li ci baax ñu jël ko li ci bon lépp ñu xam ne suñ mutadi la ñu jël ko sànni ko looloo ñu tax a jóg waaye nag di wax ñi ñuy seetaan saa yu nekk rek jërë ngeen jëf namoon naa leen lu baax waaye xam ngeen rek saa yu ma leen namee rek may jooy rek foog ma ñëwaat jàkkaarloo ak yéen kon di leen wax toog leen seetaan beneen ajuma bu yanj beneen ajuma bu sell ak beneen show bu mag a mag a mag di nuyu waa kër gi yëpp nag jaarale ko ci borom kër gi Fatou ndeysaan waaw xam nga saa yu ne damay wax ne médias yi bari nañ waaye bokkuñ façon ni ñuy waxee rek salade ñax yëpp xob la waaye ba nga xam seen utile def ci vinaigre di nga xam ne bii salade la bii xob la bi ko benn dina dee kon noonu la médias yi utee na balaa nga xam kër Fatou ak yeneen médias yi rek jëflante la ñun wi yaa kër Fatou and we di Bantaba waaw ma def ko ore MC comme na xari nag jëlal glace naan ñun ñooy Bantaba
parliamentary election
waaw
nee na boo ko ñoom MC di ma ci génne
nee na do ko génne sax bi de
ay ticket personnel
nee na génne da nga ne
MC ak suma boss Fatou you know I wanted to take the advantage pour ma apply for the CEO position of Kër Fatou mi ne rek am naa dañ ma doon approve
waaw parce que kontaan te du ko yëg
Fatou am nga ku nekk speaker of the Assembly Sénégal xaritam la laaj Malick
du xarit sa brodaam la
am nga dama ko Fatou ma ne ko sa waa ji la ñu def speaker foo des balaa loolu di xapun mu xapun rek mu ko mu ne ma tey no loo bëgg naa la ko defal mu ne ma naa seen crédit ma ne ko sa waa ji lañ koo jox
dégg nga waxtaan ma ne ko Fatou gis nga man fu mu nekk nii dama waxoon ni bëggatuma am doom waaye dama bëgg a am doom waaye si yow ma ne ko man daal bëgg naa am doom lu xew ma ne ko dama bëgg a tuddee Ousmane Sonko doom mooy jigéen dama ko tuddee Sonko
waaw
so doom laa bëgg a
Sonko rek
loolu foofu lay kontaanee pour tuddee Sonko doom bu jigéen bu góor Sonko laa koy tuddee Ousmane Sonko waaw
jërëjëf Bouba maa ngi laa gërëm bu baax di gërëm suma xarit xol bi nee foog naa moom su waxee rek ñun nuyu na ñëpp. waaw moom mën naa de war di ko bàyyee si nuyu yi. waaw parce que moom su waxee rek pour nga jaara si daf dee difficile.
bàyyi loolu
waaye ñu ngi koo gërëm bu baax tam si taxawaayam. di gërëm suma bor la Doudou Dia bu nga xam ne ñun moom yàgg nañ toog si programme bi waxtaanee réew mi ak Mr Bojang moom suma nijaay la xam nga joolaa yi suma nijaay leen.
ok
man suma yaay joolaa la. waaw so kon moom fu ma gis gars yi rek oncle laa leen di ooyee. so ñu ngi ko nuyu bu baax a baax tam di nuyu tam borom kër bi tam muy Fatou wax dëgg yàlla daf ko dee wax fu nekk ne man benn xarit producteur laa am mooy MC. yenn saa ñu xuloo si téléphone ba soona xam nga du ma nangu su ma buggee attaque yu nga xam ne boobu feebuwul ma ko naa la kolaat ma teg téléphone bi su ma ne am naa dooma kolaat bi ko lu ma la bëgg la ko dégga waaw so moom tam nit ku baax la tam ku bëgg a réew mi la tam nit kuy taxawu nit la waaw bala nga ko dee xam weda nga xamuloo ko mu xam la xamul la sax soo xewee moom injustice moom Fatou bëggul ko waaw moment nee ne ñoo si am kon nee ne moom mun naa bàyyi soxlaa bi yëpp ñëw toog si police bi di la wétali waaw soo caaxaane sax waaw bu ñaan soo caaxaane sax mu ne la léegi xaaral génn ma dugal man bu ko moom waaw ñu sa place nee ne moom yooyu moom problème am na ko ma soo waxaat keroog mu ne waaw yow sa jigéen bi doo ko advice coow bu nekk mu ngi si mu ne ko nee lu la mel mu ne ko ne mu waaji tam waaw moom ne ko nee ne activiste la waaw dafa nu sur marché politicien la wala moom activiste la so ni ngeen nuyu ñëpp di nuyu itam suñu gan bi tam ba nga xam ne yaay wax turam moom nekkul gan si man because dañ dee toog di waxtaan waaw si yu bëri nga xam ne mun naa amoon na time sa ñoo dee reer maanaam moom si benn taagul ñuy waxtaan so ñu ngi ko nuyu bu baax tam di nuyu ñëpp di ne asalaamaaleykum.
Thank you so much. Mr. Boja?
Yeah, no more content, no. And and more baby, sister Nene, MC, and of course, brother Dudu. And in Lamoyland Bay, home and aboard, Bay, come to top to bottom. Be Aladani, Nyaton call, but whatever level, and I am Marco, Banco Cairo Soto, and Soto.
All right. Thank you so much. Brother Du, welcome.
Another Friday, another grand Bantaba. So cool Nambabe. Very special Bantaba. Minna sister Nena, metal.
Yes,
yes.
It's always very special.
You don't get a special. MC Fanan control. La lodula fandi kella karo la politico banko mosa fono ata banna Mr. Bojang Bojama Sankaranka na control ya tonya ya nyininga ko kula azafo sata de abuka koma fele
Bojang
It's great.
na luntamo bi modole sunta sumaya batande abuzo nyininga ako sunte wato be nyaada ka ko amansi fola ako diko pip dorom be sumo ko diko la ba fola diko pip dorom be luntamo to fola
thank you so much. All right, thank you so much.
Bo ko ñu naka nuyu dam Baye Sonko bi nga xam ne tey mo fi war na nekk wala ñoom seen council bi den am capacity building training so waaw moo tax man waaw non léegi bàyyi na résolution léegi
Jesus Christ.
so training la fi nekk so man mo fi war na nekk so man maa ko fi nekkal tey
Sonko Gambia. Thank you so much. Ngetindu keje back beduna program to wole bi na lunta o ngamera buga biya be laftale pour idea pour molia moy ate fanan mune babulo na hakilo ba kan no ni lokon tambe la protesol siata Gambia ba ko kam janne adabe protesol kono wole university dindingol biya karamundo dindingol biya la ko le findira no kata university do pour kela balamba atande kabrin ye lecturer fula wole mi la karande ladi ye bay do ko la je aduna e mantra kontande ndu nyinde la bari ko yela ko dole je karandiro mantra ko so ko wala tin itata balamba ya la je ni police ol nata dum nyola je min sunta tiya gaso fay wo fanan sunta jamal bi jeli mi alon ko yi wol samba non adi kani fin general hospital pour kane ke jara je bari ñim ko be ketale di ko sam di student union of fam min mu university la student union di mo jamal ye jalay ka foko e meje ñim ko kono munatinna mo jamale ñinin karo ke wala na bi ngela president wala de jam keda Nyaninka Manjanti pour ay diamu akola munatinna manta protest bari mune mitol la road ladi ñin kol ko Nyaninka, welcome to the Grand Bantaba.
Abaraka bake ay malo fambe mbabilen na leba both English and Mandinka for the
it's in the local in English
yeah. So be giver la kontona antinene
Anti-mena me. Tay munia. Is that some kind of bribery or what? Wow, from the start, it's like they come try to water me down before they can start. But I receive it. Thank you.
That is championed by because I attended mission schools, and if you know mission schools.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the respect.
It's not for politics.
I understand.
Respect,
it was just on the light side, but I received it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
These are the kind of platforms that I'm anticipating because there were several single stories around, about why the student union do not join the protest as well. And also to my humble brother, May Kontona, this is not a new phase. Like he said earlier, we have a series of meetings, series of engagements, and he happens to be someone that I'm a bit closer to as a politician, even though he did not influence me as a person.
Right.
So thank you so much, our brother Buba Bojang, and also my humble brother here, Mr. Ja. It's not a familiar face. There are faces here that are not unfamiliar to me.
Yeah.
I'm very used to the faces as well, both in the media and also on site. The only face that I would say I'm not familiar with is my humble brother here.
Yeah,
But I've been following his interviews,
yes,
and also how assertive he is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes I will be in my house, I'll be like, who is this guy?
Yes,
the way he's
brave.
Very passionate.
He's passionate about it.
Right.
But that is love for the nation.
Don't mean they say I'm stubborn.
That's to their own view. That's to their own view.
But, even that I am called with that, I am stubborn, especially on this crisis, because I stood on my ground. I'm anchored by good conscience, morality, integrity, because I believe we are guided by the law, and the law is the alpha and the omega, and the union have a constitution as amended 2021.
And we do know. Nyara do wani we do know. Lafta ka start dulalto because na Gambia dindo fana be Gambia bandela minker of course esa falti esa multi mi alon ko akamtale ko alnala ya kalamuta no Gambia fango na mansa kunda ye of course nala kilo baka misilmol mi alon ko wolle be Rohingya ke kumande Rohingya misilmol la Gambia tata non kiti wala le pour kaje ko tilimbaliyal mi alon ko ibe wolle la kan wolkan amanyang bari na Gambia dingo fango bijele min kira esa falti mi alon ko loyalem andu mole mi alon ko fana respecta bakele ni nata dunia la karola ala doko mi alon ko abe wolke kam pour kaje ko molla tonya ala pour ka dila abe molu ko le mi alon ko abe kala investigator ti wala mi diko molu mi alon ko le be kiskisiro kala ni ko asafetale bare laftale pour naata fango e diamu janni beddu ndanyim programme o kono pour afu mole ko fang kungo mu muneti Isa welcome, you are live on the Grand Bantaba.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the invite.
Right. So muna yo kasabad bit today. So dega nañ ne yeah dega nañ ne this Rohingya bokanga si investigators why Gambia fina gis nañ ko publish nañ ko on the social media why ñu bari understand nañ so ñu mëne wax exactly lan mo happen.
Jërëjëf Buba ci invitation bi ak dalal bi. Kontaan naa ci lool question bi nga laajte nag lu important. waaw dina necessary nag nga may ma tuuti rek ma joxe historical background. su ko defee people bi mun a understand mbir mi naka la. boo leen bàyyee xel. World War II. West African contingent bi jógee bi British yi senoon pour ñu dem Boma, which was a former British colony. ñu ci bari Gambie lañ jóge woon. So suñ maam yi, our grandparents, our grandfathers, a lot of them did fight in Boma. Xeex nañ Boma for the liberation of that part of the world from the Japanese. So waaye dëkk boobu because of proximity am ak Bangladesh ak India dafa bari ay Muslims ñuy leen di ooyee Rohingya Muslims. Why Myanmar, which was previously Burma, I then changed it to Defco Myanmar. Nyom is a predominantly Buddhist country. So Nyom buguj fa Rohingya yi, ñu ngi wax ne Rohingya yi ay India lañ jógee o Bangladesh British yaa leen fa indi woon ne ñoom nekkuñ ay Buddhist comme ñoom. So therefore ñooñu belonguñ to Myanmar. So ñu ngi leen a daaxa ci dëkk bi di leen rey di taal seen kër yi all their villages ba pare di leen daaxa ci dëkk bi di réeb seen jigéen yeeg yooyu. So muslim umma bi gisee ko ne lii génocide la against a Muslim minority ci Myanmar. And for Bangladesh also nekka dëkk boo xam ne mu ngi bokk OIC. loolu tam nekk lu métti because mu ngi am pour carry a heavy burden of allowing 1.2 million people fu ñu dugg ci seen dëkk bi. So the OIC decided ne ñoom day bugga nañ ñoo xam ne dinañ yóbbu mata bi to the International Court of Justice pour ñu am a declaration ne laay xew Myanmar genocide la against the Muslims ba pare ñu laajte pour protection measures in favor of the Rohingya inside Myanmar. So loolu mu ngi mel ni ñu ngi wax pour dëkk buy dem court laajte court bi pour ñu joxe protection measures pour ne na nguur gi stop di rey ñi contrary to the genocide convention. So Gambia volunteer ne ñoom dinañ yóbbu mata bi to the International Court of Justice. In the meantime, you had a Gambian prosecutor at the International Criminal Court. Mu nekk Madam Fatou Bom Bensouda.
Yes.
So Bensouda applied to the International Criminal Court pour ñu jox ko jurisdiction pour a declaration ne am na jurisdiction to investigate and prosecute the victimization of the Rohingya. That is the crimes committed against the Rohingya. So mu ngi mel ni fi mu nekk am nga two parallel processes. Benn bi Gambia government ñoo ko indi on behalf of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, mooy OIC, pour ne ñu dem court at the International Court of Justice pour am a declaration ne lay xew Myanmar is a genocide ba pare laajte full protection measures in favor of the Rohingya. In the meantime, the prosecutor of the ICC ne moom tam dina investigate matter bi with the view to prosecuting those who were committing the crimes. So di nga gis ne case bi Gambia indi is almost a political case because it is state against state at the ICJ. So what that gives rise to mooy a pronouncement ne waaw lii genocide la, it's contrary to the genocide convention, these people should be protected. That is what Gambia is looking for.
Okay.
ICC prosecutor is looking for who is committing these crimes, nañ ko arrest, nañ ko prosecute. And so by hell, Batambedu was the agent for Gambia, and Gambia hired some American lawyers to lead the case at the ICJ. And those lawyers happen to be some of my friends. I interact with them frequently. So, International Criminal Court, ICC, amna jurisdiction, you authorize them for you investigate. So they started investigating since 2019. So ICC happened to have a new prosecutor in the name of Karim Khan.
Yes.
And he asked me to lead the case. So my role is not like investigator or such. My role is to lead the team that does all the legal work and all the investigation aimed at producing a case at the International Criminal Court for Rohingya.
Okay. So how many? Go ahead.
So I lead a team of investigators, a team of lawyers, a team of analysts, and a team of cooperation experts.
This is a big role. Handling a lot of cases, of course, internationally. Why Lee Lala means is a career as a lawyer?
Well, okay, it is the biggest case ICC at the moment in terms of the number of victims, because you have 1.2 million people in Bangladesh as refugees. It means a lot for me personally, because as a Muslim, neka julit, neka kum sunna yonente bi, li man suma personal jihad la for make the sacrifice, xeexal suma diina, xeexal ko in a way boo xam ne it's not ne ma téye fetel or ma téye sword, but ma téye suma pen, yaakaar suma xam-xam, def ci sacrifice boo xam ne ci liggéey nga xam ne dinaa mun a sigil suma diine. Looloo tax I made these sacrifices to them Bangladesh ak suma team regularly ci difficult conditions, lead investigations ci ba mun a am a great result. The other thing mooy man liggéey naa ci cases yu bari yoo xam ne involve na presidents, heads of states. In fact, most of cases yi ma def yëpp internationally they pertain to heads of states. Def naa cases 7 heads of states fi mu nekk in my career. And I think ne gowma ne ci international lawyers there is anyone really who's done as many cases relating to heads of states. Hana Karim Khan, yes. Other than him, because also most of the time mom ñoo daan bokk cases. Why if you make a case bu ma def, it has to be done also in his name as prosecutor of the International Criminal Court. So, so in that regard, I think ne lu important la. Why pour man really li gën a important mooy it's not just the personal achievement. Li gën a important mooy def li nga xam ne mu ngi impact positively the lives of over 1 million Muslims. Def loo xam ne dina njëriñ doomi aadama, def loo xam ne dina protect life si doomu aadama, def loo xam ne dina protect property si doomu aadama. Loolu moo gën a important ci man than personal accolades. I've definitely achieved naa ko. Loolu is secondary. Li gën a important mooy really the impact it would have on the world. So in that regard, I think I'm not great satisfaction because Uma started case bi ak léegi is a very short period of time pour xam nga ma am ci li ma ci am nii, because case bi dafa rëy boo xam ne benn set of evidence rek mut na 2 million items. So loolu benn set of material la rek. So di nga gis ne loolu yëpp danga ko war a analyse, danga ko war a xam, digest ko, ba pare nga war a mun a structure case boo xam ne dina make sense case boo xam ne dina fly internationally so yàlla dimbale na ma I mean with my team liggéey nañ ko mu doon liggéey bu rafet ñëpp a ngi koo coow nag people waaw so sant yàlla daal alhamdulillah yàlla may nañu ci ndam bi doon ut doyloo guñ nag xam naa ne in the next few months because waroon naa jeexal pour ñëw nii December bi pour ñëw ñibbisi because bëgguma yàgga ci biti ba pare xam nga case bi ni ma ko defee mooy dama dee ñëw Gambia spend some little time léegi sax ma liggéey Gambia because léegi you can work virtually ba pare léegi ma nekk in The Hague so di nga gis ne I mean bëgguma cee yàgga lool because daf ma distract from suma yeneen activities yi wóor na leen ne maa ngi ci politics bi Gambia ante suma yàlla dimbalee dinaa run for next election bu soobee yàlla next presidential elections loolu yëpp ci loxo yàlla la bu nekk waaye ñu ngi ñaan yàlla bu jàppale ñu soo ko defee ñu mun a participate not only participate but also winning it so looloo tax much as bu gën a def this sacrifice dafa am fu ma ci mun a am waaye li important mooy office of the prosecutor arrest warrant si gars yi bugga man I'll make sure ne liggéey naa loolu balaa ma end suma contract bi so hopefully in a month or two dinaa génnee yeneen ñaari warrant application and then I'll hang my gloves with them and come and focus on issues completely and entirely Gambian.
It's a very important conversation, Mr. Fall. Xam naa du mun a ci programme bi. Esa thank you so much. Soobee yàlla comme neneen nu mu ko waxee nañ la am si suñ yeneen programme pour ñu mun a waxtaane li but I can assure you that a lot of Gambians are celebrating this because doomi Gambia nga and you're doing great outside of this country and we are very proud of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jeff.
Right. Right, I think it was an interesting one. Yeah. So that was Esa Fall. Nga tentu ka jay back a pro ka diamu mole jim program o rabe do ko mi alom ka wole ke kan am Gambe Bantala. But hansa en jonni be dunan lumtango ya barola statement o mi alom ka wole for na panelists solo ba analyze lale momo 5 minutes diamu da in LRR ka diamu about sio dolu bijele mi alom ko ya tofo kule mi alom ko nyanta ka chalale bayri mo jamalu ya bayle andu nakera ndol fana nyanta kacala janne bari platform balem pour mol si fatala min kera si problem multi especially isabe being explain kan tenting avec kam bank for dol to mala fe fraja dolu na president bi in LRR don moy sa reaction in 5 minutes
may mo wax ne naka
lañ ko waxee deki sosé vote luñ ko in
vote luñ ko waaw ayoy nono naka lañ ko waxee yaga nañ di vote for the opposition.
Yes.
When the time Jawara Jame def that comparison.
Yes.
Man again, lima de wax rek man yéenuma de surprise parce que xam nit ki tamit baax na tamit nga xam ko loolu na la woon lan lay wax ak lan lay jëfee xam nga am na ñeneen buñ defee dañ ne déet are you sure ne moo ko def fooguma ko waaye am na ñu ci bari buñ ne diw rek nga ne xamoon naa ko so yooyu mu fa so man dama dem ba nga xam ne little or no expectation when it comes to certain individuals and their utterance. But one thing for sure, we need to also establish that it's not a new thing.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen the president invite people at the State House, and those invitations are based on tribal groupings. And the conversations are always centered on man, sosela, you know, yen sosé di ngeen wara so jappalé man pol la suma yaay pol la suma mam pol la kon si yen la bokk da ngeen ma wara lay it's not a matter of nañ leen defar réew bi lo xamné njaago bi jola bi séeréer bi karoninka bi na ci gis bopam waaye it's a matter of ñun lii lañ nañ leen defar suñ boppa let's entrench ourselves but at the end of the day moom bugaam la ak gis-gisam la you know fa la xelam tollu ñi toog di ko déglu foofu noonu yëpp ay nit lañ ay mag lañ parce que kilifa du ne woot rek la kilifa da nga koo elloo kilifa cër la kilifa matuwaay la man am na yéenay boo ko defee duma la kilifa woo am na yéenay boo ko doolelee boo ci daakoole boo ci bokkoo duma la kilifa loo you understand with all due respect but ña fa toog di ko déglu ña fa toog di ànd ak moom ci wax yooyu noonu fo naa man ñooñu lay jubal suma kàddu ñooñu ñoo war a seetaat seen boppa parce que Barrow benn nit rek la Barrow su waxee nit ñi ne ko sa wax jubut dina defaraat boppam Barrow su defee nit ñi nekk ci boor ne ko sa defem bi jubut jaarut yoon dina defaraat toogaam waaye bu defee mu baaxut ñu tàccul ko ne ko hay tuur nga def sa déedéet yoo ko 5
ñu fa ne ko de wee clapping
exactly so nit ñi askan bi
Sidi Lamine de di governor
askan bi ñoo war a defaraat suñ toogaay askan bi ñoo war a defaraat suñ jubluwaay askan bi ñoo war a defaraat tamit suñ gom-gom understand nga ak suñ tolluwaay loolu buñ ko defee rek dinañ commencé te jóg yoon Barrow benn nit rek la lu mu fi def muy lu baaxut dañ dafa am ñu ko dooleel dafa am ñu ci àndaa moom dafa am ñu ko digal nag man si suma jëmi bopp dama koy wax lu ma bëgg a def bu ma óoree ne baaxut allah kulli xal juróom-ñaari Barrow ak ñett buñ toogoon ne ma def ko te gumuma ko du ma ko def so moom si boppam war naa am xelam pour xam ne yéenay su dee ne wax nañ ma sa advice nañu pour ma waxee ko nii óor na ma ne ci suma jëmi boppa suma yaruwaay ak suma màggaay ak fi ma jógee duñ koy defee ne duñ koy waxee ne parce que ñun ñëpp dañ jógee si ay culture yoo xam ne yu bari jaarut yoon am na ku nekk nooy waxee moom am na ku nekk nooy dilee ak moom ci tolluwaay ak place bi so loolu war nañ ko di yóbbu fu nekk dëgg la na man ma wax ne professionalism is a language of business you know it shouldn't be changed because of who it is or where it is what it is dëgg rek la lu jubut so moom si boppam na eedaat boppam mu xool ñi ko soraan parce que dafa saat bi nga xam ne saa yum ubbee gémmiñam
and the
fokk rek
advisor bi political advisor bi that means doko he said that was a family meeting, you know, so that's what Sekou Mbalo said, and Dr. Cisse said it's a normal statement, you know, because
who said it's a normal statement?
Dr. Cisse.
Dr. Cisse, Information Minister.
Yes, you were in the yes. Says a normal statement, you know. So, MC, what was the reaction? No, I know. Because last time ki ñëwoon na fii nii after muy gàtti kami Keba. Nene for a talk.
Keba Cisse. Yeah, I heard he was on the show. Yeah, I was told. Yeah, I was told that he was here. He came to the show. MC, du daw de xam nga dama daw ba coow. Waaye dafa am yu jar a wax.
Xam nga Ismaila.
Dafa am yu jar a wax.
Nee na jigéen mbéj.
Maa di wax loolu.
Nee na dafa taa du ko di fen. Dëgg Ismaila ngi toog sira naan ko fem. Anyway, bu foog naa ne lii nekkul first time mu xew si parti NPP because soo xoolee parti bi ni mu ko sampee lu bokk na si muy affaire yi tribe affaire yi xeet soo xoolee comme nee na wax na ko si waxam for the first time history Gambia fu président di oote ay xeet state house xeet sangam ngee ñëw gis président bi loolu sax fa romb man ma gëm ne kenn ku nekk rek la war a xool ne Gambien nga pere moom tey mu naxari na ko wala tey bu mu nekk 2016 bu soose yi di vote against Jammeh pour moom mu nekk président moom kontaan na si loolu bu ko time boobu moom candidat la woon so foog naa ne benn politicien amut bu nga xam ne soose yaa ko moom politicien boo gis Gambia xeet yi fa sànni kan even kii ak badi bu fu nekk di nga am yeneen xeet yoo xam ne dañ fa sànni carte am na ko sant si am na ko sant Caam xëy na sax Caam bi sax mun na am soose la wala mu nekk olof loolu mu ngi am loolu gis nañ ko fii wala Pël Tukulóor waaw so man bi sax Tukulóor la so da nga gis ne man dama gëm ne benn police station Gambie amul fu nga xam ne ñu ne bii purely man ni ko ñoo fa sànni carte amul so kon foog naa ne si nekkee ne comme ko Sekou Mbalo waxee xam nga mën na fa mën a defend bu nekk jiidi si te maanaam noonu la woon time boobu fi time mu ngi firi doom si pandir yi lu nekk mu defar ko waaw so da nga gis ne ñoom si nekkee waxtaani néeg la sax dafa am kilifa lan la war a wax kaddu yoo war a wax mooy lu isi ñëpp nekk benn because affaire yi xeet dañ ko war a génne suñ politics bi.
Yes.
whatever moo xam ne mi ngi xew because tey soo waxee ne man soose laa doomi soose laa man soose yi man leen war a farlal kon tey keneen mun naa taxaw ne man tam pël laa pël yi man leen war a farlal olof sam taxaw te man olof laa candidat la man tam olof yi man leen war a sànni xam nga loolu yóbbu réew because soo nekkee président ñëpp nga ilif da muy xeeti soose bi olof bi joolaa bi pël bi ñëpp yaay seen président bëgg ñëpp ñu ngi fay tax kuy dem di fay tax si government bi ñëw loolu wax ne waaw man pël laa lii laa war a fay soo lii laa war a fay amul loolu ñëpp dañoo fay amul kenn ku laa wan la yow man sa nanguwuma ñuy wax ne waaw di xool kan mooy soose ñoo fi ëppa pël ñoo fi ëppa di war a xool ñëpp Gambien leen loolu suñ ko defee rek duñ am problème si dëkk bi boo da ngaa xool ñoom MPP ñu ngaa def politique li si ëppa sax dañ la ko def wax si ron xeet bi bugul la xeet bi nangam xeet bi yooyu yëpp oto mun a am because neen wax na ko fi da ngaa tax nga ne waaw man suma yaay pël la suma sarole ñoo ma yar soose la yooyu yëpp nga gis yooyu yëpp ngi xew lu nga xam ne lu waxta mun a am si réew xam nga lan moo war a am mooy gis nga dafa am fu ñu jógee muy si wàllu développement ñoom président Barrow jamono boo leen doon criticiser Yaya Jammeh ne waaye Yaya Jammeh ku ko farlewul du isi développement so développement si Barrow di doo dinaami nii jógul si poosam moo bu mu nekkee UDP ifim Mankamukunda sax dëkkaam amul boxul sax amul fa woon këram bala mooy ka président gis nañ ne ko la mel ifin fenn sax amul fa woon soo tey mënoo tey doo sax dina ne wax ne waaw man maay isi projet bi maay isi développement déedéet loolu suñ alal la soo fi jógee keneen ku ñëw dafay continuer ni yaay fi seen xaalis ba dama nekk loan au grant loolu alal réew mi la yow dañ leen la fal pour nga isi développement si ñëpp si gox bu nekk wala mu support la oo supportul la sax wala xamal ne am na kenn ku fa eew yow la saneel karta wala affaire tribalisme lu gën a am solo unity la war a doon di waxtaan bi ko dëkk bi li si ëpp mooy tribalisme dafa dugg si biir dëkk bi mu ngi suñ politique bi mu ngi fu nekk an fanaan njiiti réew mi mooy taxawaayam mooy pour ñëpp nekk benn kenn ku nekk am nga right nga sànni karta yow ko foog moo nga sànni karta muy soose bi muy joolaa muy séeréer ku nekk yow Gambien si am nga right ku la nekk sànni karta wala yow 2016 time bu lu ñëw di àndaa yow di vote against Jammeh boo fi mu ne la ñu taw xooloo gaay loolu so kon foog naa ne moom mu xool moom fan la jógee sax muy Jimara constituency musu faa win kañ la fa doon di win yaagut so kon tey dama gëm ne Gambien si dañ war di vote nit ki based on competence based on the qualification am na ko ba nga xam ne am na éene bu baax pour yóbbu réew mi but not about mën naa kii ñu bokk a xeet kii moo rafet kii moo mën a solu kii déedéet man góob la ma gëm ne da ngaa voral nit ki based on moom éene mu amal réew mi ak fan la bëgg a yóbbu Gambia.
ok
nu ngaa yóbbu nit ki nu ngaa votal nit ki elections.
Thank you so much. Mr. Bojang, muna wait a little.
Well, gis nga quickly, so going back to ESA submission and Bifini, gis nga this division of fila boka, you see what it can lead to?
Yeah.
You understand? Right now, imagine ñu lan lañ nekk di go through. Because of ku nekk nga bëgg a identify with one sect or one religion or one tribe against the other tribe. Ñu tam ñu ngi try for fights and right. Xam nga? This marginalization, discrimination, do they in the beno daf day yahadika? So my concern is to jogi chi president pour the one man fila because president regardless of tribe boka you're a president for everybody. Whether you support you're the president constitutionally legally. So you would not tribe will identify with a certain tribe because for aligned right you know already I mean automatic leverage over everybody else. I mean automatic favorism over everybody else, and that should not be a characteristic of a leader. A trait of a leader in any way, whether it's the president, in the offices, in the homes, it is wrong.
Thank you. Ablai, I'm going to reaction.
Yeah. President Barrow always would not make anyone proud.
Please be nice. Be nice.
That is true.
Be nice.
You see, what is God? God is Nyaninka? Jola?
We honestly don't know.
This is that is leadership. That is it.
My people will tell you God is a Manjago.
This is it. But that is the people say. But if God tell us, you see, the Almighty of this jurisdiction, this country, is President Barrow. He likes it or not. He's the Almighty. That is why, even those that are struggling to eat, they are paying him. Those in the hospital, they are paying him. So he's the Almighty. More coming for local eco, Alaye Bulo Kusai. That is it. You cannot get anything beyond that. I'm talking about worldly, earthly, whatever. Okay, so it is a religiously impeachable statement. I tell you, from any religion, it's impeachable. Constitutionally, it is impeachable. You see, one of the things or reasons constitutionally for which the IEC can ban a political party is one, when you regionalize it and tribalize it. Now, a head of state, identify yourself in such a gathering, taxpayer-funded trip, turned family meeting, according to Mbalo, is in itself the religion of duty. That was not his duty. You see, when I sit here and say, oh, me, I'm this, me, I'm that, when it comes to tribe, that's not correct. And that does not take this country anywhere. The development of a people should not be contingent upon the tribe they belong or the support they give to the head of state. In fact, they give the head of state support just like any other. Because when they buy fuel, there is a percentage that goes to the government. When they pay whatever, there is something, indirect tax that they pay. So the government cannot even say, oh, you are not supporting me. No, voting is one aspect. But there are a lot of other 100 aspects that actually contribute to you being what you are. So I also believe, which is a very controversial thing, but for me, I believe there's no tribalism in the Gambia. There is tribal manipulation. It's again, tribalism, that's what Isaiah is talking about. Where you are denied this, you have to fight, you have to this. That is tribalism. This one, you just want to play games. Oh, okay, this is the situation, let me just hit these people. So that, you see, for me, I even believe why Baro deliberately provokes, for example, Usainu Dabo. He wants Usainu Dabo to be emotional and will not think. So that he can miss his political steps. That is it. That's their plan. That's their plot. They want to render him emotionally not stable, so that he will not have that intelligent, concerted mind, concerted thinking to do the needful for this country and for himself and for the party. So they have to provoke him so that he'll be that unstable and so on. This is what exactly Baro does when it comes to tribe as well. He wants to pitch you against the other. By the time people are emotional and so on, he is working his magic. For me, that's how I see it. So that's why for me, if you want, let him come and say anything. Gambians should remain focused. Our focus as Gambians, as young people, as politicians, as mothers, as fathers, as whatever, is to get President Baro out of that revered office.
Thank you.
The State House.
Thank you.
So it doesn't matter. Okay. This is only propelling us to do more work. That, okay, you know what? We should have a concerted effort. We should have a concerted thinking. We want to get the president out. To show him and any other president for posterity that if you come and you want to joke based on this tribe, this, we are okay of you. And even if you do you booba next election as president, you mess up. Gambians should not give anyone chance. Go. You are not the only Gambian. You have more than 100 and something Gambians, million, if you want to say it, sir, to exaggerate, who are capable. So this is the truth. Let's not give chance to people. He wants to divert us, Gambians. Nganaso. Mbeke kiliti, President Baro won't the State House. We won't qualify again. Yes.
I'm not sure
that's the big question. But just to be clear, was the statement directed to Usainu Dabo, or it was a general statement of Manding Fasa or whatever? Or I might have missed that. Just for clarity.
So I'm not even specific as to who he said the statement to or referring to. I am saying President Baro's ploy, his political game is simply this. Let me say something that have some strong affiliation with Dabo or UDP.
Also to trigger. Okay,
so that I render them emotionally, unstable.
Restless.
So that I can do what I can.
He actually mentioned Dabo.
Yeah,
he actually mentioned.
You see?
He did.
Dabo,
He actually mentioned Dabo because Lumnika di wa mwene nyonyu Dabo le neka di sani. Dabo is from Bansang and he is from Mangamankuna. And he was not trying to compare now. Kan moneka guys said Mboka. right?
Well, Mangamukunda, the possibility, that's a movie I jege LRR.
Yeah.
Remind me here, maybe I missed my geography.
Yeah.
So I'm walking up again
Geographies are along that area and so on.
Yeah, come on again, Singam.
Bansan is closer.
That's what I thought. Wow. So
if that is what he actually said.
Understand nga? So mune da was do mune win pipeline. Understand?
Interesting. Lafta dula dole jibela. Banko anala politiko Kenya, surtout Africa Benyame, and Gambia manke exception. Ndemeta kafo, nko na politiko kunani bakono asebo wataje bake. Bewale kono, CEO bewale kono, Dino bewale kono, Kodo bewale kono, andu mo ala sidula abota regionmento, kari na signolo na edindi ya kele. Na fama de ndo kola nin kuna na politiko batandi ba banku don bije wol tabita wo stage la wol ya bondile mune wono loi de amoda mabuka bondino misal fe ni Rwanda jibe na manke loati hani biya be kala problem sai munati na ngalwa la karofo IC e dok bale so bande fe nyanta menkela mantara kakeka nene afo janne amanke ku kota ni meta janne bari mune keta mune londi pour kaje ko nimbe baylale wala ibe fen londi la pour kaje ko halina pati nyaton ko libe jamfalo baroda mabuka pati dolbi je fana mi alon ko la nyaton ko kafa bari ni ajibe fana nature alay danya men ako ina khalatna min zakari mo onsa ay ko kuda keni musol wala tinna nkawulu kasiya ninka men yitande wolo ke wudea atin siyende lano akarol bela mon nyanta lola ka ho jangende ni lafta pour ngasiya wum necholati alay dawo nyaale keni muso akwa nata kanke kabilolji ani siyol bari kerkerole bala akuni taarafu pour menyo suti momo ye nyosiyo bunya ndemu fuloleti kare musurwaleti nyanta bunya imafisiati siya alama siyafo akuni taarafu pour menyo suti woto by nature ati bondinola anu ninko ngadum politiko kono ferolo ko boja e même fo mosa je ko ala interest le bije wala naya use abe fen sotol aya tamant bari niya generalize ni ko misal fe LRR mandin ko bu ka quartier di president na dula don bije aboyta den ana manke mandin ko la aboy si on men siata je bije le bari amang gagner no wala sa munati nay mawo fo e LRR damma chodi kule bije political strategy le bije ntala jero andum minul ya sansangala advice al minul kaya mari minul kata media wol ka men sata pour ka defend iman tara kama ko bari tol famo buka suti ndeni president mo site yalla mo jama bije katata barola bari hani bi man baro understand mo sala diamo fo akela moyle bari amam munta ko akawotale munatin nanga nyimfo nasitale ani modo be kachala ngakuma fulale faye mi alon ko en jabi menna nda en surprise la ngalo ko alonne membe keri wo time alliance be tabikanne kay ko be parti fulanati la parti kari anin kari pour yeka fo alliance nyen ko ne ko mistaja wolman wala molman sia wala fta palaso atenemal atele afonye wala bantale katara alliance nyen kono bari denni wol ka fa fo ya lonne ko nyinul moltebul ne aje ka fo ko alliance tendin tay ilafta fennale ilafta palaso
jibe njwa
hani
wote fo no la dana
no wo wala timi alon ko imantara nu je 2016
2016
ha imantara nu je 2016 wala 2021 manta to fala bari pati fulalo afonga ya fala ko mo wala mol mansia wala lafta menna wala palaso o mu kilinet minul kalo ka fo ha ndol 2026 be baro le support ni mo be bula alon nate bula ka alon ko kari be diamu ken senna amanke moti mi alon ko amalo membe kere wallahi alon ne membe kere na sita ntele si kacha wulindi nte du jala ya folo aman chance din na fam pour na compla ko ko mistaja si yo man kuma alo min kuma ta wolo yake gambian president na kumo nta kawle sayka a fo nyanu na sedo soto kabri aya fo ranna kanin kumol men befo politigo wala ya tinna ka fo aske be fenne nyini kan wala lafta fenna fo ta fen niaje mka ko minul ya sansan imam ba ko yalo ni sate kare wala dula kare bije imangay men nyanta wala mi nyanta risakele nyini karo ke munatin na mangay ndefi amanke sikuti na manke sikuti dula jama bije mi alon ko ate gagner misal fe ate ko mu mandin ko le sa fula satel bije le mi alon ko ate gagner munatin na gagner tay natara siku da malam ate gagner la aussi wo satel to wala wo dula to nan ko politika stara
but dulu Jabaro is a mixture of 3 tribes Mandinka, Fula, and Sarahule.
Yes.
Yeah. The average Gambian is 2, or 1. Maybe your mother is Mandinka, you're Mandinka. Mandinka Jola, you're Mandinka Jola. Manjago Fula, you're Manjago Fula. Or Manjago, you're Manjago. But for him, he's 3. For some reason, I don't know how. But he's 3. So
nothing yamen. I said, Tambino Walafa. I sabol member konti abijele alo ni moye kulu comme sula ni yare nga boka ci mom ntaka fole ko akul wole nkulu daji ka dolbi je mi alon ko ngasoto dino la karola ni o boddi je akul lewo kenteto anu momo kuluta akul bolo ibalon anu be demandin satala misal fe akukunda nsafo nyama pour ka domoro bondi famoye ya domo mambang ka fentuje ani wotije ise do moro ni boy faye bari be fentala ibe men ban ni dobi ni kono man fa isala fano bari ka do mo siendi ma banno ya faye wonyama ibuka son wo kolna ni mo daji ko leki mi alonko ni kuta ko kono doron iba sotola wo sifa ka finti mo bala wayatina ni ko sarakulo wodle hakuru ite wo bondi nola sa na ko te mu mandim ko leti bari a wulula aketa fuloti alunde ala brother soul ala sister soul na minu bete ikafula kamole fo katambi kamole misafi no kom menkasada
No.
menkasada
What is it? Abamale fulus.
menkasada no
Akangata.
no ni nata chosano la karola akabemfo nte tata le fo futa toro mama bota wolto
Okay.
ning alfa le sitaje kom boro kontongo ibota damen futa ya fanyele andu ibudaita le itata fo Ethiopia isetul tawolto yaade wo karola mosafo no fulolo ala chosano be wolto bari ni molota ko temu nyinati pour ka bonde wota be kole ala yaade ngani evidence on le na bari kumo tata abi politigo le bije andu ate memfo minul kallo pour ka defend wala ka kumol seniandi nteko wol buka makoy parce que wol nyanta memfo la ibuka foku kumo na findita kesolo atata ya nyandi nyaawo nya ya defend nyaawo nya moltulo e memmoy wote fali no la ti won yele man wala andu wol nyanta wol understand nante ko political strategy lo amanke ko ninga development da masamba molbe carte di lana o mistake ballet mo dolbi je development tano lafta fennal isulata fennal imam men soto wala mi anon katebo ta ini wol yesi ye wo ko kisi muna wati nyinno political strategy mi alon ko lafta men na isa soto no amma amanke si kuti ni lota ko ha ndemu mandin kol nyanta carte di lante rana benyi nin karola dolbi je si la karola imusi menti lota dula dolta iboyta bari na politiko kono molle ha dundi je anu luwa damale se nyinu regle aya fo jande IEC luwa minul bi je ntefe IEC buka kumayandi ibuka lundi fana mol ya bunya misal fe luwa ko kari sanji fula political party nyanta congress kala bari abe kala party mi alon ko ibe tala fo January February la congress ke ando nyanta danna nyin December san luwale kamunta control kanna fansul luwal dadale buka bunya anuna luwa ka negotiate andu nimma nyimbondi abe koli ala bake pour nyim ko ben sa fo nga kacha bari fenta falina nabe fali nabe kela demandinte wolo mol minul be karanna e kuni ye banko tambindi ye national interest landi nyato wol damale ba fahamla wala be balula nin kola bari mol mi alon ko e ka fenne nyini woku nate nyati lingo do e ko bile inaeta.
Thank you so much. Lu anda na nyamata wala bari ka implement problem mo Gambia. So be bata Gambia banko politiko mbira university politics. Nyaninka
abem politiko
Nyaninka lem president wadi student union of Mimbe University of the Gambia ko nga fa nyalen commencer dula protest kera no jele wala balam bayati Allah. Of course, I'm karamuntu dinde wali man kontan dong karandir la mi alon ke wolle bay bari man Nyaninka wolje ni dulato bari jande be du nawro lafti Nyaninka fenna mi alon ko Gambia na do be curious ne pour galon ko do mi alon ko adun tanu account dol kono mo fula ya tala watson Gambia ya pose ko do nyin labanta nyaadi le atollem nyaaton ko dije ko do murtale fama muru.
Okay, abaraka bake ka senendir ke o Nyaninka ke o kuwala birin nata in April 2024 nina mansakunda ngana mem maratan na fankola because mfana mansakunda sodole think of any position.
You're Minister of Finance.
Okay. So nga fa ko mako e union or account over dawda because sometimes kamen soto like nim bank so lafta kam mako iba fala nyela ko ala account yele with trust bank example so that we kodo nyin kenyeje so but nga main account sotole me alon ko mo aji bank lati o metale o manke biti so na finance minister another fonyo ko Mr. President ngamira nga account soto dula kare trust bank but nyin account ode mo fulala mo signatory tije andolla luwa bugo e me yitande na constitution be maratan tela kata fonna last person auditor general president finance minister and his secretary general wala mu signatory to this account any other account among the union or account but as far as union is for the students you must have for the clarity of for the public as well so another for you carry wala mu signatory so another for go okay.
And they are former students.
And they are former students.
Okay.
So another for you go okay. Nkai ko saying mbamuna kela. Nkai ko from your finance perspective, what do you think? Ila miraro mo munati on this matter. Akonye now let's take our time. Nkai ko now the union will write to the bank requesting for the statement. Ngalong kodo dunta le lunjumalla jumalla awidru adunta nyadile. Because because as the president, I authorize all the spending of the union. Hana Atara Finance Committee discuss. I will have to look at the budget, trim it to the best approach that will not disturb the accounts of the union. Because donor fatigue be carrying, and sometimes resource mobilization can be a problem already. And the union is pushing or punching below its weight economically when it comes to this situation. So not if I go now, let's print the bank statement. So we then print out the bank statement, and it was unfortunate. So I reached out to these two individuals. In fact,
why was it unfortunate?
Unfortunate, like
you say when you print out a statement, it was unfortunate. I say, why was it unfortunate?
That monies were withdrawn from this account.
Okay, good.
Unauthorized. So
you reach out to?
I reach out to reach out because I know two of them at personal level. So I go we print bank statement na print out nga realize ko kodo withdraw tanyong account o konole.
And how much are we talking about?
1 million.
Okay.
You understand?
That was which year?
And this was this year, April?
It was this year. In fact, 1 month, when we came to council, 1 month after, we detected this. So I reached out to them to tell them, but at that point in time, they were insisting that, everything went through, normal procedure. But all we know for sure is that, the signatories to the accounts are the president, secretary, and the finance minister. So then, this is
So now, these two people, what were their positions the time that they were in the union?
Gender and Health Minister and also the Auditor General.
Which means, and they have no business in being signatories.
Sure.
Okay.
So according to them, they got advice from the person who initiated this endowment fund account, Professor Jibril Fall. He's a professor in London School of Economics. He's the one who came with the idea because universities around the world, there is what we call endowment fund account, where the alumni every year will come, put something there so that, they can multiply it in a form of investment. And also because at the end of the day, the intention is to have the account, in fact, transferred to the central bank so that it can generate, as time goes on, interest. So according to them, that Professor Jibril Fall said, let them create a committee to have this endowment fund managed. But for posterity and for the records, even whereas a committee is to be set, is in our constitution that the union president, the finance minister, and the secretary general still remains signatories. I can even establish a committee on matters. And if it is finance, the finance committee will advise the president, because we have a whole system. I have a legal advisor on matters like this, especially if you don't understand. So as we proceed, according to them, that Professor Jibril Fall said, let them, do this. But we had a meeting with Prof. Jibril Fall that very day, where the Auditor General was present, myself was present. Then Professor Jibril Fall was not aware that the money was withdrawn. He was in limbo. You understand? So during the meeting, he purposely, came to the Gambia to see how best they can multiply, like attracting investors. In fact, according to him, that he was able to pursue one guy, an investor, a businessman, to donate an amount of $1 million. So during the meeting, the Auditor General was present, and he presented the bank statement. But then we already had our copy, and he said he then signed checks, open checks. Then he was posted to Makati, and therefore he could not, because the money is meant for investment. And in fact, they've assigned a chairperson for this endowment fund account, who will be managing and investing the money into an economic gain for the union. So when he explained the whole matter, and then, Professor Jibril Fall was briefed. But then that was a closed-door meeting. We had to leave to meet the Vice Chancellor, the Director of Relations, myself as the union rep, and also a woman that I don't know, and Professor Jibril Fall with his colleague. So then it was put to Professor Jibril Fall and the Vice Chancellor. It was a shock, to be honest, and it was disappointing. And what Professor Jibril Fall told me, I'm on camera, is a theft case, and theft cases must be reported to police. And therefore, he tapped me on my back that, Mr. President, this money belongs to the university students. In fact, we roll out a semesterly tuition fee assistance to underprivileged students. Last year it was 50, and this time around we increase it to 100. And sometimes
100 students.
100 students. And this time around, in fact, not only that, the union keeps on writing commitment undertakings. Especially myself, I do that a lot, whereby I will write an undertakings on behalf of a student that cannot even pay that 40%, 7,500 to be able to register his.
So were you able to report the matter?
So what happened here, we then, because what the Vice Chancellor told Professor Jibril Fall, that we cannot go to police just like that. The union have its operational arms. It's a student matter. We have a National Assembly, we have a judicial sector, we have our Electoral Commission, we have our legal advisors. So now the union is tasked to open an investigation. And we do that in a jiffy. by writing to the legislative body to open an investigation onto this matter.
Why you not very bureaucracy? Jesus Christ!
You have lawyers there, you have police officers there.
Exactly.
Did you get the money back?
Thank God. We did not, as we are speaking right now, we report back to the students about the progress made. And in fact, I will supply you with the report that we supplied.
Are you able to get the money?
Yes. We got at least 300 and something.
From who?
From one party, that is
The one in the Gambia.
The one in US.
Okay.
You know,
He paid 300,000.
300 and something. If you can permit me, I can come.
So the bottom line is they accepted.
But it's over 300,000.
Okay.
But it's over 300,000.
Yeah.
So what about the one in the Gambia? He didn't pay anything.
So the one in the Gambia did not pay anything, and we gave them deadlines.
And what is this deadline?
The deadline has elapsed.
That's what I want to
So now, in the reports made by the legislative body, because in section 44 of the union says if reports are sent to the union for implementation, failure to implement will call for an impeachment. And I will not want to be
impeachment of the implementing body.
Yes.
Okay.
I will be impeached as the union president.
And you don't want to be impeached?
Yes. I do not. Yeah. I rather resign than to be impeached. So we received the report, implemented it, and we gave them timelines. So when this timeline elapsed, in the report, it stated that if these people are not compliant or they do not meet in paying all this amount of money mentioned in the endowment fund account, then we can take the matter to the central government.
To the police.
That is by engaging the police on the matter. And that is the current situation that we are. And thank God that our legal advisor is a police prosecutor and also a university student. And he's helping us a lot. I want to thank him for his foresight in terms of what we do and what we don't do and the protocols that we should follow. It's too bureaucratic, and to me, bureaucratic is an impediment to certain developments. But however, I think we also need to follow the due process, no matter how the situation is.
Okay.
So this is the entire thing about the endowment.
Okay, so we can say more than 300,000 is paid. You can check the amount so that you know the exact amount. More than 300,000 is paid by one individual, and Wole Mimbe Gambe Bantala.
Exactly.
The one that is out of the country.
Yeah.
The one that is here, who is the auditor general, didn't pay anything for now.
Yeah.
And of course, the deadline has elapsed.
Yeah.
And the matter has been forwarded to the police.
Yes.
To the police.
So, and again, it was not only 1 million for the records, because I'm on camera.
The money was more than 1 million.
54,000 was also mentioned, which according to the reports of the legislative body, it was an unauthorized spending. You understand? So
another 54 on top of the 1 million.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we put all those things, in, and those 13,000, because we divided the amount of money, to these individuals, and to hold them liable for this money as well. But as we speak now, the matter is we are now pushing it to the police for the law to take its due process onto the matter, and as the union, so that we can also report, because whatever we do, we want to inform the public. Though sometimes it's a bit challenging, for university students to read information as well, especially if you share a dispatch. Sometimes we now understand that when we are writing to them, we have to attach it with a graphic design that will speak volume about the information that we are sharing. Because the longer the dispatch, the less interest.
If reading is a problem for university students, then we have a problem.
No, I mean dispatch.
So, okay. Until you saw the phone call after happening. So,
but let me just clarify something. This amount you're talking about, the 1 million and then the 54,000 or whatever, when put together, has any interest been added onto it so that when they pay with some interest? And before you even answer that, which year was this money withdrawn from the account that we're talking about?
It was 19 Executive Council, so we'll say in 2020.
2020.
Yeah, but the last withdrawal
So it was withdrawn in
November
bits.
27, November 23rd, 2023. The 1
So
million
basically, it
agent
was in bits within a period of
so
time.
even in the bank statement, you can see there were electronic withdrawals through e-bankings. You understand?
So they had access to internet banking.
Which means, in fact, it's sometimes I think the banks also are not helping because, okay, today the union accounts that the president have right to a mobile app as a signatory. I do not need
and mobile app just to view transactions or to effect transaction, because these are all things that you can put in there.
Exactly. So what happened is we realized that, there were several withdrawals through app. If it will all reflect on your bank statement as well.
Yeah.
So the bank statement has clearly shown every transactions, starting from the day that the money was deposited into the account up to the last day, 2023, November 27, the last $1 million was withdrawn. And in fact, this was just at the corner. I was surprised because I saw the guy before he traveled to US. You understand? I met with him, we shook hands, not only to realize that
Why would you be surprised? Your killer can shake your hand. Jesus ate dinner with Judas. Take a receive the highest advance already. So it happens everywhere. But again, let me just say something. I don't think the bank should be blamed. The bank, what they call the mandate card, it's what governs everything else. At the time of opening an account, whatever you miss, right, becomes a problem. Exactly, because they have a mandate card. So if the mandate card say that 3 of us signs, at any point in time, any 2 to sign, if we sign, the bank will authorize it. Exactly. And when you have, it's not an individual account. And these are the measures, that you put in place. This is not an individual account that you say, I can use an ATM card or internet banking. Internet banking to view statements, to view transaction, to get alerts. But to effect transaction, transfer, it has to go also through the signatories, because these banks have all those things. The way check goes to 2-3 people for you to sign for transaction to be effected, the online banking also has those features. It has to go to the initiator, the reviewer, the approval before the transaction is effected. But all those authorities are given at the time of opening the bank, or changes can be done at some point in time, but through the right authority. Okay. So if that is done, the bank will effect any payment, anyhow. That is not their problem or whatever. So those things have to be.
Those two were together.
Those things have to be. Yeah, exactly. I have seen a political party that has an ATM card and one person had it and just be spending anyhow.
Which political party is that?
I don't know. I don't know. Georgia knows about that.
I'm not saying CA. I know of a political party.
No, CA.
Thank you.
I'm not saying CA.
Okay.
Buba is talking, so we know CA.
I know, right?
Mr. President, ngada Allah kunung not kunung nganga kunung ko le protest kera
Monday.
Yeah, atoli Allah fenko ke on Monday le protest kera. Atoli Allah press conference ke on Tuesday. So nga minja di university kabrin lectural baita student jamal bi jele mi alon ke mantra kontandin no ndenga mil force finta wolem eco mansati the statement of finti no force. So what's on Gambia statement on siale and ngari that lafta protest kelano. Mari action je mi alon ko le bora student union bulu at the time but exactly student union ale muneke kabri nyim problem o volta kabe electoral bay.
Okay, Abaraka Bake, I really appreciate the question because mojamabe Nyaninka student union lay ona name Findi. On the 15th of November, Nyinriela dismissal letter received. In fact, the other one was on the way going for lectures and decided to communicate to the students. Kaitandila ko yala dismissal letter you received. So, biring akita lungomenna. Yes, ekomansa yela position ota. But coming up for initially, lualembe sansang and Uncle Ja Dudu Jai memfo. Unless we put the law as the alpha and the omega, and it has to be implemented. So if you look at student union or constitution, there is membership. As far as you are enrolled as a university student, you are a member of the student union. And the student union have its operational arms. And the student union have its way of dealing things as well. So during Ecomansa Findida, I personally engage the leadership to tell them we are fully aware, because certain issues, before it goes down to the sub-association, we even filtered it down to the sub-association, because any information as the union president and a sitting member at the governing council, I'm always copied. So I told them that I'll protest Kuala and the follow for one simple reason, because Yenyul Baile, until our welfare and interests as mandated in UTG Act 1999, Section 4, Tertiary and Higher Education Act 2016, Section 16, all stipulated that the welfare and academic matters of students must not be compromised. And therefore, that is why at that point in time, we request the university authority. On the 17th, Ecomansa wrote to the university management requesting for replacement to avoid obstructing learning process or progress.
I don't want to interrupt, but do you think university nyanta lectural by la water bang replacement also?
That's a multi-million dollar question.
So now let's put it into timeline. What day were they dismissed? Can you remember the date that they were dismissed?
On the 15th.
On the 15th?
Yeah.
On the 17th, Ecomansa wrote to them.
Yeah. So no, they wrote to the management.
They wrote to the management
and copied the union.
And copied you, requesting a replacement.
But,
because obviously, on the 15th, which means you said one of them was on his way going to lectures.
Lectures, yeah.
He got his letter to say you are dismissed. So which means that day he did not go for lectures.
Yeah.
So on the 15th, he did not teach. On the 16th, he did not teach. And on the 17th, when Ecomansa wrote and said, okay, we need a replacement. Because they must have lost 2 days of lectures already.
Very well. Okay. Very well.
So my point there is, don't you think atol nyanda Ecomansa bulala dong ye protest ke? Because university your responsibility is totally janneng ebe lecturer bail nyanda replace la puruka je ko karango kanalo.
Yes,
that was their right to protest. But you stop the protest.
Right to protest is a fundamental right.
Exactly. But you stop
before assembly.
So can we hear him out? His own analogy or genesis perspective.
Yeah,
why he thought
you will continue. You will continue.
Then go by.
No, you will
unless you allow me to flow.
You will flow.
Hey, hold on,
My brother Kebalong and coffee.
No, you will flow.
Nasaf.
At that time, it is necessary to stop that strike.
Yes, because the union is the umbrella body. The University of the Gambia Student Union is the umbrella body that is mandated to look into the welfare and interests of the university students, aside of academic, administrative and other matters relating to the students. We are the umbrella body, and we have operational bodies, that is the faculty-based associations.
But there was no statement from you for 3 days.
I will come to that. I will come to that. We had a meeting, an emergency meeting. In fact, before, that was the same day.
17th?
Yeah.
Okay.
When, in fact, we received a copy from Ecomansa requesting for replacement. So we had a meeting and agreed as executive council members that we would write to put it to management that the examination, we are in the eve of examination. If you know university calendar. End of lectures was November 30th. Lectures should complete by the end of 30th. Now it's revision week. Okay. We also wrote, they wrote on the 17th. We wrote on the 18th.
Ecomansa wrote on the 17th.
Yeah.
You wrote on the 18th.
To complement their email
letter.
That, to the Vice Chancellor, we are asking you or requesting you to replace these 2 lecturers as soon as possible. And we make it clear, failure to do so, the ramification of it will not be responsible for it. We made it clear.
Where is that letter?
I will supply you with it. Don't worry.
I want to see.
So we have an evidence of whatever we do. So when we did that, we had a meeting, stakeholder meeting. about these two lecturers. So university now replaced these two lecturers. The other one is Madam Dr. Sain and also Remy Colley, taking these two dismissed lecturers their courses as well. But we later realized that the other lecturer, perhaps he's also taking another course, coincide with his lecture, and said he cannot continue with Thursday classes. Therefore, the students must change the shift, and which is going to jeopardize their entire calendar or timetable. You understand? So we now went back to the management to say the day for this lecture will hold no matter what, because when it changes, it's going to affect the students. And therefore, the assessment or anything that will come by these new lecturers will have to hold, because psychologically, the students are transitioning from one lecturer to another. And in fact, some did, assessment with the previous lecturers as well, so that the students can be at the liberty to have an intense learning or a normal process about teaching and learning with the students. And even with the examination, we made it categorically clear that we are not going to shift these two courses to another semester, because some of these students are in their final semester. Some, in fact, started applying for their postgraduate degree program, and some needs to be promoted in their workplace. Some have to look into other avenues in making their life better after the university. So we put all these conditions, and these conditions were respected, and therefore the only problem was the issue of the other course taken by Mr. Remy Colley. And we echo that issue out, to the management. You understand? That this situation cannot be left untreated. We have to treat it. You understand? And so therefore, after that, because there is two matters at hand. The student union is fighting for their interest. The staff association is fighting for their interest. Now, on Monday, we realized that students wanted to protest. In fact, they share flyers that, concerned students. They call themselves concerned students.
Yes.
Let me remind you, in 2020, the same thing happened. The staff association, went on sit-down strike. That was the time of Usman Jassi. We went on a protest. An approval from the IGP. In fact, we were escorted within the premises of the university, because it's a public institution and it's a public space. And I was, in fact, in the midst of that protest, because then I came newly as a university student. The petition that the student union leadership presented was accepted and received by Professor Gomez, the current Minister of Higher Education. Then he was acting. So when the students proposed on Monday, myself, I engaged one of their members. Since I believe you don't tie every bull by their horns. In an organization, there are people who believe that, they can do things in their own way. In my belief, it's subjective. But if you vote for a leadership and you believe the leadership, you've entrusted them to husband your affairs, I think also you need to rally behind them at all costs, because we are not there to fight for the interests of the management. We are not there to fight for the interests of the staffs or the government. We are there to protect the interests and welfare of the students. And then they said they would go out. I engaged the person. I said, well, can we dialogue so that, we know what you have? What is your demands? And to be more funny, they are asking for the reinstatement. The students, I mean. They are asking for the reinstatement of these two dismissed lecturers, logically, as mandated in our constitution. Several things happened before, during my regime. We had a bus crisis here. Perhaps you may know.
Yes.
We had a bus crisis here. But none of the faculty and staff associations saw solidarity, because they believe that is not their mandate. as their TOR. We fought our battle. The clearance issue between MOHAS and university management that they will not accept any beneficiary with just a letter because university, MOHAS or University of the Gambia, millions of dollars. We fought our battle and nobody saw solidarity for us. Nobody. Records are there to speak for themselves. And now, this is a battle between the governing council that took the decision and the UTG Staff Association believe that the dismissal is unjust. And for the records, as a sitting member at the governing council, I do not partake in the discussion of staff matters. I do not. I am asked to excuse for the records. And these students are demanding for the reinstatement. I now question myself, do we know what we want? Or do we know what we are doing as a student government? You are demanding for the reinstatement of lecturers of whom you do not give their appointment. You do not have right to fire, hire, appoint, promote. But yet you are requesting the university to reinstate those people. I said to myself, we need to have a common agenda. What are we fighting for? And currently, you cannot fight for a case that is already at the court. I am not a legal-minded person and I am not abreast with the law. But all I know is, if the matter is before the court, and in fact the matter is discussed, even the student union, when the judicial tribunal pass an ex parte motion on issues, that particular issue is never discussed unless and until the judicial tribunal make their rulings. And now, the court did not make a ruling on the matter, and now you are asking for the reinstatement of it. Will that not be a contempt of court? Guide me if I am wrong.
We're listening. I will get to you.
You understand? So on that matter, we told them that what you should be fighting for is beyond all of us. Do you think if I believe that it is a mandate to bring those lecturers back? Of course we know they are very productive to the teaching and learning of students within the university. But is that my mandate constitutionally as the union president? And the constitution that governs every university student, so long you have your admission letter, you fall part of that union. Because every university student is paying a dues that is going to the union for its operations. Okay? So now we told them we cannot, and I stress it out, that we cannot talk about this reinstatement as a union. That is not within my jurisdiction. It is between the governing council, where the senior management is part of, and the UTG Staff Association to deal with it. But, because we were called on a stakeholder engagement, the Staff Association, the union, the senior government officials, to have a stakeholder engagement. And I told them categorically clear that if the Staff Association go on a sit-down strike, that is the past Monday, we will also do the needful. The following day, we will have a press conference and we slate our day for the protest. And it is going to be a very devastating protest.
Was that the meeting with the vice president?
And I made that clear to the vice president. He is listening to me. And any senior government officials, I am on records. And that is the Tuesday yesterday, we had our press conference. Which means during the meeting, the stakeholder meeting.
You had two engagements with the vice president. What was the first one about?
The first one was about the strike. The sit-down strike and their demands.
And what time did they call you? Or what
mean
the date?
The other one was 28. I think on Tuesday and Thursday. No.
Okay, let's say they called you
on two several occasions. Okay, and therefore we answered. We had a discussion on the first meeting. During the first meeting, we discussed and we put our position down about the resolutions that we agreed with the stakeholders as well. So the Staff Association said there are matters that they cannot discuss before the students, that we have to recuse the meeting. Okay?
With the vice president.
With the vice president. But one thing that I must say for sure, there are any matter that will be discussed indoors. Know that as the union president, I am copied, and that is what happened. I am copied with what was discussed in that, closed door meeting, I will call it, that, the student union, and whatever the case may be, as the representative of student at the governing council, whether I partake in any discussion on staff matters or not, I am always served with my document.
Okay, so during that meeting, you pass resolutions.
So,
can you put your phone on silence?
Yeah.
Thank you. You pass resolutions.
Yeah.
What were these resolutions that you've passed after the meeting with the
I want this to be clear. I want to follow actually to know.
Yeah.
Is it by constitutional mandate that you should not be as a sitting governing member, that when it comes to staff matter, you, by constitution, cannot be within that, or is a matter of moral or whatever? I don't
Exactly. So I've looked into the governing council functions, and then I've not seen this. And this is what, in fact, I put it to before the vice president. But what he told me was around the world and customarily, even my vice president at the Senate, when they are to approve grades, they will ask him to, excuse because of, the sensitivity of, the grade matters as well. But however, that is not a clear justification to say...
So meaning it is not something that you have found out as far as the constitution is concerned.
No.
What you say is the alpha and the omega.
I already confirmed that it is not constitutionally justifiable. Okay. But because of
I guess it's a norm.
Yeah, it's a norm.
It's a norm.
It's
All right. No, we will get
Depends
to
on the situation.
So, but your first meeting,
conflict of constitution and morality sometimes will happen.
We'll get back to that. Your first meeting with the vice president, you passed resolutions.
Yeah.
And what were these resolutions?
First, it is for the replacement of these lecturers, and also the assessment, mode of assessment as well, because one of the lecturer is also conducting, is supervising students on research that let them provide as soon as possible to confirm how many students are doing research with this particular lecturer, so that, the HOD, the head of departments, and also the dean can identify and see how best they can have someone, to be supervising all these things as well. So,
was this fulfilled?
Yes.
No.
75% of our resolution was fulfilled.
For the project supervision was not fulfilled.
That is why I said 75%.
Yeah, you said yes. So
No,
that was not fulfilled.
Yeah.
Okay. Continue.
Yes. So, and then they told us that, we will be called. You understand? And the following day, we were called, and I told them, in fact, I am not going. My vice president can attest to it.
Who called and you said you are not going?
Vice president? No, I did not say to the vice president that I am not going. I received a message from the protocol officer that you are needed at the State House. So when he called and I do not receive, he reached out to my vice president. You understand? And the vice president then sent the message in the page that we are needed for another engagement with the staff association and the stakeholders, responsible. So I told him that for me alone, I already put my position, because the only reason why we could not go on a protest is because the vice president said, now your resolutions, you will ensure that the university worked on it in our first meeting. Suspend your protest. We are not asking you to stop, but we are asking you to suspend until, if these resolutions are not met, then, because already the letter is at the IGP for the protest. You understand? So in that regard, we now, we went back to the meeting again to tell them that, okay, all our resolutions, 75% of it is met. The research is still going to be work on by the HOD and also the dean, and also the lecturer whose lecture collide with the other course, will have to do, because we later realized that, we got our intel that this lecturer is also a staff, not so. And therefore, perhaps it could be influenced by the staff association not to hold the classes. I am not accusing, but I am assuming, you understand? Because according to the students, that, he was later seen conducting classes, for another course. You understand? So we put it to the house during the meeting that this is what happened, and I think it is a breach of agreement as a resolution that we put we put for this house to agree and respect, because we are the relevant stakeholders in this matter.
So after the meeting with the vice president, 75% of your demands were met according to you, but there were demands that were not met. So you had a second meeting with him. That was yesterday, right?
Yeah.
What was that meeting about?
So the meeting was to finalize everything, because they told us that they will get back to us, on this dialogue. So myself, I was not in a position to go. I made it clear, and my vice president can confirm that, because I was, to a certain point, I felt like, okay, are we respected as student government? Are we respected as university students? Because if the highest republic can sit with relevant stakeholders and discuss on matters, I think that matter should be treated with urgency, because any delay is causing a great ramification onto the students. And there comes my responsibility.
So you didn't attend the meeting, the yesterday meeting?
I attended. I was able to be convinced by my executive that, if the highest courtesy to the position.
Okay, what was the meeting about?
The meeting is about the agenda of, the UTG Staff Association strike, for them to agree and, revoke the strike and go back to work. And also their demands that they are requesting for reinstatement. Then, there can be court decision as well. But I think the Justice Minister was there, to put it to the Staff Association.
And they agreed.
So what happened here now? Because as I am speaking, I think you can see me peeping my phone.
Yeah.
There is another flyer again from the staff associations that
they are going ahead with their strike.
After agreeing that they will review the disciplinary committee decision on the dismissal of these two lecturers, but on that they will have to go back to work. That is why in our press conference yesterday, we made it earlier. And before we, in fact, made our press release, it was confirmed and we discussed that the staff association must first release, and then, we can back our evidence on that. So we later had to inform the students that, tomorrow, all academic and administrative services will resume.
That's today.
And that was today.
And that is today.
That was today.
And
that didn't happen because I saw a lot of students who put on their statements.
Wednesday.
Yes.
The press conference happened Tuesday.
Yeah.
So Tuesday. So Wednesday it was supposed to resume.
As I was at Latrikunda, I got a call from my my council member that the staff association are calling on, whether a congress or another meeting again on the decision that was agreed by the stakeholders, which the staff association is a member.
So now that means they are going ahead with their strike again. I just want us to go back. We've listened to you.
I cannot anticipate.
Okay, all right, no problem. So, Sai, at the start of the strike, as a student union, do you think it's a failure to not even issue a statement for 3 days after 2 lecturers are sacked and students are affected?
Okay, if we are to release a statement, what is our position in that statement? What would the statement be?
But if you are saying that,
what would the statement be?
But if you are saying that, then you don't know your responsibility.
No.
If lecturers are sacked, that means students are affected.
Sure.
Isn't it? Sure. So yes, exactly.
It is so implicit or explicit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Welfare is implicit or explicit?
Exactly.
Yes.
So that means at least maybe you can say after 1 day, you are able to release, but after 3 days, your executive, we are not able to even issue a statement. That is a failure, right?
Okay, partially I will agree with you. But what I wanted to put through, I am not here to defend myself, and I'm not here to defend my executive council. Posterity will judge us for our actions. You know, to err is to human. And what I can tell you for free, because at that time as executive council, we believe that, you know, what is our position, what is our demand? It's for lecture to continue. You understand? And we were fighting for that, writing to the administration responsible for those affairs as well. And those lecturers identified to take those courses were confirmed by the head of department and the dean that in fact they started, you know, the lectures.
That was after the intervention of Ecomansa.
No, the Ecomansa and University Student Union.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The email address
sent will be listed. The Ecomansa wrote to the management and copied you.
Yes.
Then you reacted. That's what happened.
They copied us.
Yes, they copied you.
You know,
and you also wrote a letter to compliment their letter, isn't it?
Mandingkol kamen for.
Yeah.
Samay jonko ngatara sinandin.
Yeah, but after 3 days, Allah jonko man sinan. So it was 3 days.
No.
As a student union.
No.
As a student union, at least you should have issued a statement. Exactly.
Thank you.
As the umbrella.
I respect that. I respect that. And I think this is where many students will not understand.
And they got angry.
You know, if you think we are not doing anything, I want to tell the audience and the Gambian people and the university students that whether publicly or behind closed door, what the union is doing. You know, when the issue of, you know, tuition fee increment, most of the students are not fully aware of this because it happens in the governing council. I wrote my position paper. I made an assessment to the students. How many students can pay for their own? The entire governing council agreed that tuition fee from 2015 up to date has not been increased. No, I'm just coming.
That is why you are elected.
Thank you.
That is why you are elected. And that is your responsibility.
Very well.
So the thing is, okay, the students wanted to protest. You'll have to protest like Kelano.
Yes.
And you stop them, right? Because it is what you feel, wale mintiko, atolma mandate soto, atolla luwa kono, alter lectural murundi no la ila do kola. Wo manke atolla keloti, wo staff association na keloti.
Yes.
But do you believe ko, mosi protest no le hanatara, a mantra atolla luwa kono, ite man la vi minna, purwe mu. Do you agree with that?
Eka protest munkula kama.
Yeah, but it's a protest now, for example. It's based on interest.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
For example, I have my lecturers, already Nilian Sambale for damning Kanaba. Exam ole kanasi. Ye by. Don't you think they have the right to protest ka for you left and lectural ye murunang? And lung, another student will be comment and probably they could have received their decision puru in lectural ye murundinang. Court more like a more samba court. Is it more samba no court le? Yet I case you withdraw.
Yes.
That is possible, isn't it?
Of course.
So that means also
for the
that, and you are surprised that
can we dialogue?
yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
In fact, the guy told me that, you know, he told me that, you know, I am dressing up. I will get back to you. I will get back to you on Monday. He went on a protest with these people.
Yeah, but
it's a free world.
And he's the leader of the concerned students, right?
I will not allege him. They don't know, you know, they are not identified groups.
Exactly. Why would you single out that person? He must have influence to speak to him to be able to talk to the other people.
Okay, let me. They have the intention that they want to stop them from the protest. So
no.
just
But this is the thing. I have listened to you carefully.
Protest is part of our process in this matter. Unless if you understand the entire issue.
Before you come.
And we released a press conference yesterday. And if you listen to our press conference very well, we said if the strike continues on Friday, this coming Friday.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I have all your demands because I know you people also have demands. But look, it seems like you contradicted yourself. You said you should follow the laws in the university.
Sure.
And you went to the vice president.
The union.
The union.
Yes.
You went to the vice president. That is not part of your laws. The vice president told you to excuse yourself from a meeting.
No, not the vice president. It is a member of staff association.
Member of staff. So whoever the person is.
Yeah.
You were asked to excuse yourself.
What he said was...
Yeah, but that's what I heard.
No, in fact, I think you are right, Bob.
Yeah.
What he said was,
what I heard.
the staff association say they cannot discuss certain matters before students. When the vice president said, he should excuse.
Maybe it was a mistake.
So the vice president, what role has he? Is he an authority as far as the university is concerned?
No.
That was the authority.
So now,
President is the chancellor.
my point there is
the chancellor.
Not point no meeting wala minti ko.
Yeah.
Ite nyildol balle because loi mansongal. The same loi me along wala be kantaka ye fintin and loi ba for ye finti. Why didn't you insist as head of the students, as the leader of the students, to insist to say ko ni meeting o de kelam koma, I want to know everything that is happening in this meeting.
Thank you so much. In the first meeting, we are asked to...
No, I said this particular meeting.
Question. You have to give me basis for me to have the luxury to answer your question judiciously.
Go ahead.
So it happens in the first meeting. But when they requested for it in the second meeting, I said it's better to live with my entire council members than to excuse you again.
But the question is, why will you accept it in the first meeting?
No. The issue is, at this point in time, Buba, it is not a matter of succumbing to
Nyaninka,
what
is
the
it
vice
true that you
chancellor
people are compromised?
On what?
That you people are dancing to the tune of the management of the university and the authorities from the government.
And who is the management?
The management is the vice chancellor and the registrar and whoever is there.
Maybe the organogram, if I have to break it down to you.
You guys have a new registrar already. Acting registrar.
Acting registrar.
And
Is it true? Because they accuse you of this. They accuse you of this.
Yeah, there were many accusations.
Yes. But from what you've said, it seems like the students were right. You did not. You did not stand for them.
No. The students that we are standing by, are those students that are informed. You look at our constitution, rights and responsibilities of members, is to see the law.
You need to forget about that. Look, people protested. Look. People protested for Barrow to step down for 3 years. It was not in the constitution, but it is their right to protest, and they were given permit.
Sure,
it was an agreement. They were given permit.
They were given permit
to.
Thank you.
But you don't even need permit to protest inside a university. What permit do you need?
Well, I cannot answer that. A lawyer can answer that. I am not disputing that. But what I'm saying is, I am not in that position to answer that question to say whether it is justifiable.
I cannot disagree with that because the university is a public place. So if you have a law, which of course I always say I disagree with the law. What is a law? That says when you're doing any gathering on a public place, you need a permit.
It's not any gathering with certain criteria. Loudspeaker and all. So this is not
now going to be public or loudspeaker.
They are using.
What is it that they are using?
Public address system. I think that these people did not have that. All they have were papers.
Pen and paper. Pen and paper.
Okay, fine.
No weapons.
For me, even having to ask for permit or whatever, it boils my skin. But see, this is the thing. This is the thing. I think the first place that you guys aired, I thought. Let me ask: were you guys notified that these people were going to be dismissed? The student union.
He was asked He was asked out of that meeting in the first place.
That's what I want. Even if the decision is made, a letter is written.
Yeah, he said they always copy.
They should have been copied. They should have been in the know to know that these people were dismissed.
No.
Even before the students or whatever know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So did that happen?
We are not copied as a union.
Okay, so this is where the first problem arises by the university.
And we even raised that flag to tell the university management that whatever happens within the university, that is why you have the president and the vice president representing the student body in the Senate and at the governing council.
Okay,
Yeah.
that I understand. And the reason why I asked the question, because that should have been done.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And you guys should have been able to filter it out, then it wouldn't come as a
Generally.
surprise.
Yeah.
Like you've explained here, one was on his way going to lectures, he received a letter. So possibly you guys, the student union, you also had it from, everywhere else as
In fact, it came through
other students.
Normally, the management will notify student union and get that do sangam. But when you appoint that lecturer, inform the student union.
Why bring them back here?
Understand.
A letter should have gone.
Appointment at dismissal is different. Because the appointment more young dismissal you are already engaged. And
I mean,
let me just say this.
But one thing that I can say for sure,
Let me just say this before you
anything
continue.
that has to do with staff matters, I must clear that to the public. That as the union president, I am not abreast with it. I do not partake in the discussion.
You had said that.
issues.
I understand
Yes,
that.
yes.
But my question is, after a
I
letter
want to
was
make
written,
point on
because
that.
like you said, like you said, you don't sit when it is discussed.
Yeah.
But afterwards you receive your file or you are
So I'm
informed.
giving my file.
Exactly.
On
Which
the
is
disciplinary
even kind of
cell.
product because you're not there when they talk about it, but after you know everything that
That
is
is
being
more
talked
of
about.
autocratic.
You know everything that is being talked about. So I'm saying because this affects staff and you guys oversee the welfare of staff. When it students in all aspects. So dismissing a teacher affects teaching and learning.
Very well.
Right? And
Very
that
well.
falls under your purview.
Very
So
well.
I am saying a letter was written, respective body were copied. As the student union, did you guys receive a letter to inform the student union that this particular lecturer and these lecturers have been dismissed from the services of the university?
No.
Which you said no, you just had it from everywhere else.
In fact,
Because
let me
I'll give you time to answer all the
because
questions.
the reason why I said that should have given you guys the opportunity from that 15,
Sure.
right, to be able to engage the body and say, okay, you have dismissed. I mean, that is
because we are relevant still.
that is not our, whatever. But now, where is the replacement? Because teaching and learning must continue.
Yes.
Your decision to dismiss should not affect our classes, our lectures, or whatever we're engaged in.
Sure.
And from that moment, you be on top of things. Then it wouldn't have taken the Fulamansa, it wouldn't have taken the Ekomansa to write on the 17th, to the management and copy you. Right, and then it had to take you on the 18th to write to the management, like amplifying the voice of Ekomansa, which is telling me you guys agreed with Ekomansa that a decision has been taken which is affecting teaching and learning, and that should not be compromised at any level.
Sure.
And that lapse happened, right?
Yeah.
Now again, you were telling me they wanted to protest, right? And you guys say, okay, hold on to the protest. Let's dialogue. Which is okay in every setting or whatever. You want to give peace a chance. You dialogue, right?
Yeah.
I am a believer. Sometimes you have to precipitate a crisis for change to happen.
Of course.
Exactly.
And if you
But
know me as an individual,
dialogue should be a win-win situation.
Yes.
But in this instance, the students are not winning. They did not win. If you have to, put a balance on it, that's what
On the
led
scale.
to the protest.
Exactly.
If the students got what they wanted, would they protest? They would have left the issue of the lecturers that were sacked to the staff association, let them deal with it. But here, I want to reflect on the constitution he emphasized. Two words they need to underline: interest and welfare of the students. Now, that should not be compromised at any cost.
sure.
This message is going to your leadership.
Sure.
Be it a commander, the staff association, or whatever, you there, because the students elected and put you into that leadership position.
Sure.
your primary focus is to protect that interest and welfare, no matter the outcome of it. Now, excusing you from meetings and all that, you should have objected to that. Because if you are excused, then how would you fight for that interest and welfare? For me, that's where the lapse and the weakness of your leadership comes.
And I want to say that you are just excused from that interest because they don't want you to talk, because they copy you. No. They want you to know what they said, but they don't want you to talk.
That is why I cannot insinuate myself.
No, but that is exactly what is happening.
What I'm putting here is the welfare of interest is always discussed before me as the union president, because we have several agendas when it comes to the meeting of governing council. And when they reach to the staff on promotion, on disciplinary action, or on appointments or other activities as well, the union president by the chairman will ask Mr. President, kindly excuse for us to discuss staff matters in such that way. But however, I am not disputing the fact that as far as I'm a sitting member, that everything should be discussed before me. Because when you talk about confidentiality of matters as well, I have my files. You understand?
The end result will you
exactly.
Exactly.
And this is what I even put.
It will come back to
the stakeholders. This is what I even put before the stakeholders. When they ask
but information will finally.
And when they ask me, the staff said I should leave for them to discuss on this matter. I told them categorically clear that I'm a sitting member at the governing council. Whether you know it or not, your promotion, how much you are graded, your external assessors, I have all my files. It's with me. You understand? Unless and until maybe my house is
Nyaninka, Nyaninka, after you will come back, you will answer their questions, okay?
So let me just finish. Continuing from where I stopped. For me, I support protests from anywhere, anyhow, as long as you have something to manifest or a disagreement or whatever. It's a way of life, right? Yeah. As far as you're doing within respectfully and respecting other people who are not even part of it or whatever. To sum it up, to do it responsibly. Because all of their one. Hulo akhe supanyur yabate jaruta def.
Yeah.
Danga hulo because you want to achieve something. Danga hair because danga war buga achieve something. Why so danga hair onga hulo te dara do change conserve sa energy.
Sure.
You understand? Yeah. So at the end of the day, I applaud them that there was something that warranted for them to come out and say, you know what, something has happened that we are not in agreement, or it's affecting teaching and learning. I support that. Where I have a gray area here, like you mentioned, the demands when they did the protest on Monday.
Monday, yes.
The demand was to reinstate
the students are requesting for the reinstatement.
Lecturers, you understand?
It was the demands.
Wow. So now that shift from the engagements of, okay, we start for a few days, we don't have a replacement, our research, we don't have supervisors, and the person that you gave us, it kind of coincide with another lecturer. So, that for me, that is genuine.
Sure.
If those were the demands, I said 100% is genuine. But to come and say to demand for the reinstatement. Now I ask you another question. Who went to court, the university or the lecturers?
These two dismissed lecturers as plaintiffs. Submit.
Okay, so they're the ones that went to court. Okay, so they're the ones that went to court.
It was not even the staff, because the staff association intervened because they are members of the staff.
So it's not a staff association that went to court on behalf of them. So it's them personally that has gone to court.
Yeah.
And they went to court before Monday.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They had gone to court before Monday.
Of course, yes.
So this is where now I have the gray area here.
Yeah.
They demand on Monday that they were demanding in their protest, to reinstate them when the matter has already gone to court.
Exactly.
I have a difficulty, you understand, dealing with that. Because again, something that is already in the courts, they're fighting it themselves. You guys are saying reinstate them. And it's now, you're not even fighting for your own interest, understand? Yeah? you're fighting for the interests of those two people that have been dismissed. So again, I said to
their interest is affecting their learning.
No, but a replacement has been given.
No.
A replacement has been given.
Is that fully covered? Is that fully covered?
Let me clarify something.
We'll get back to you, please.
Students' welfare represents academic progress. And those two lecturers were identified to continue the learning process, and which was confirmed.
Okay.
Now, other than that, requesting for the reinstatement.
But you talked about the timetable affecting the students.
No. What I meant was that the other lecturer was having another course. That Thursday.
That is a problem. That is a problem. Problem is not solved.
He had an engagement which we raised immediately.
Okay, so now
Either they call on an adjunct lecturer to take up that course, or that course will never, be shifted to another. If that happens, then it is going to affect the students.
So I will get back to you. I'll get back to you.
Panelists.
So I'm going to miss you. What do you miss, guys? It was Eco Mansa that demanded Prunyu replace lecturers.
I understand that. I gave out the timeline. I told him that that's where they made the first mistake.
Completely different from these concerned students. I don't know if they understand.
I understand that.
So these concerned students, they demand for the reinstatement of the lecturers. Eco Mansa, replace because they are the most affected here.
Yeah, because teaching and learning should continue.
Exactly, it should continue. But I think they have the right. For example, court, dismiss a guy is not okay. They can withdraw the case. We can management guy.
Exactly.
It's as easy as
it's
that.
It's not complicated.
Yeah. No, I don't have a problem with that. Again, the right for them to protest, like I said from the onset, I said it is their fundamental right and I support it. As far as they feel that something is not going, and that's the way, maybe dialogue has failed, or they feel the dialogue in Dukosop or whatever, that's the only way. I support that. It's okay. You understand? But that's what I'm saying. Where I have the gray area here, you understand, it's just that. But again, this is not the first time. All of the students yi ñoo war a xam seen rights xam seen bopp xam fu toolu da make sure ne buñ ñànkee tànk dog duñ bàyyi. You understand? Because dama gis ne on Monday bi ñoo protest at the end of the day the number per man was too small. The number was too small.
So
that showed up.
Can I comment to that?
Was too small. Loolu lim wane mooy déggoo amut fa. Diego Amutfa. Because man, understand it's affected because no affect being a student should be the problem of every student. And because hey, injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. The entire university should have been under lockdown. Every student feeling that, you know what, something has happened. Whether it affects me directly or not directly, Fulamansa shouldn't have been the only people writing
Ecomansa.
You know what I mean? So because of that, under some kind of hindrance in the success of what they did. You understand? The tamit ñun Gambian bi xalé yi ragal nañ ragal go xamné xalé yi bëgg nañ lu yomba ñew nañ boot seen baagi tie seen penny buñ gisé paray ak seen garde sé yoy ñoo de everybody got intimidated. The protest was finished before 3 o'clock or 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
You wanted to go to aid.
You should have been in the school protesting.
But not when tear gas is. No, not when tear gas is thrown. Students go to the hospital. No, some of them have health issues.
Okay, you have health issues. You don't blame the Pitan. But how many people fell down because of the tear gas? You understand? It was just few. But where is the majority? You can see it on the video. They tell them that your life ends here.
Again, that brings a question about student union. Are they unified as students? Are they unified as students?
Exactly.
That's the question now.
Are they protesting today? Even yesterday, these people had a press conference. If the student body really meant what they were doing, these people would not have the freedom to have a press conference. Trust me. If I was involved, you would not have the press conference. Because the place will be so chaotic that you will not give a press conference. You will come and join us and we fight for our in the absence of that, duñ mën a am luñ bëgg parce que xam nañ ne they are divided, they are not together,
Exactly.
they are
That's
fragmented.
what I want to
amul
do.
benn gom-gom bi ñoom ñëpp seen interest is not the same, and that is a problem. And until we sort that out, these problems will persist because du benn yoon this is not the first time. te dinañ ko amaat.
2020.
Teachers yi dinañ strike, students yi dinañ strike, man nag teachers yi nag ñoom man ngeen baalal si kàddu seen ñàkk a fay de moom amul fuñ ko naka uppa na ko yéen saa yu nekk ñu ñàkkale na fay ngeen ñëw ngenge ñu oo leen si koona massage leen joxaat leen tuuti ngeen delluwaat.
Yes, MC Brian.
MC dafa war si
man dafa am foog naa si mbiri protest bi foog naa ne di seen union bi bu nga xam ne Manjang moo ko lead mu waroon naa nekk di front line bi his executive committee xam nga union président sooy sa tànk si bëri state house rek day si problème gis nga man first time ba gis leen ngeen dem si Barrow nataaloo président Barrow négocier meeting yooyu rek am na ko ma toogal ma ne ko ñii suñu mujjee
ñaxtu ba sax
compromise moo tax leadership ko xam ne about because interest day bari si students yi day bari interest donc ñu fa jógee different people ñu jógee different party different supporters la gaa jógee ñëw together si school so nguur dafa war a ragal gis nga union president anywhere in the world government dafa lay ragal par exemple mun naa joxe Cheikh Anta Diop University gis nga university boobu di bi jamono Ablaye Wade kenn du ko de caaxaane da nga gis ne government sax even seen subvention yi sax du ko dee mun leen xañ naka pharmacie sax bon ida boobu du ko de caaxaane bon di moo sa tànka ngay gis nga soo di moo yaa ngi jege nguur yaa ngi dem si kër nguur su yàggee rek xarit moo fa de nekk yu bari pour Manjang dañ ko négocier rek booy dañ oo gaay kon la wax ñoom rek jeex na gis nga suñu demee léegi students yaa ngi doon léegi yéen da ngeen wax gaay daal la ñu faale wuñ leen loolu dafa alarmé lu garaaw si leadership kañ daal nga ne waaw man mais ma suma yéeg ma pare naa wax ak yow déggatul la ila ñu gën a dem boobu sa leadership bi ngay dem down soo caxaane nga fa la mu mujjee si emergency congress.
Yeah, they are actually demanding for his resignation.
Wow.
They've sent me a letter.
Emergency Congress mu ñu sa kaw. Gis nga soo bëggee nekk a good leadership. Gis nga fu students yi nekk. No matter how su nekkee ne gaa ngi rébellion yi ak ni trial yow noo mën a àndee ñoom suñu bëgga. Gis nga la ci su nga xam ne gaa leen dismiss. Students yi am neen right despite nekku seen lobby bu ñu appoint gaa yi yëgalul leen di de wala ñoom ñu ngi la coow gaa yi up to like yaa ngi si end of their year ñi nga xamante ca si. So su leen génnee léegi keneen ku ñëw léegi fa am pour dooraat.
That was not a smart move at all by the university.
Because
the timing is wrong.
But some of their problems. Friends yi am yëpp fan naa am na ko toogoon fii jiba la woon. Waaw ak Matar gars yi ñëw nañ fi. Because problème bi yàgg na.
Yeah.
Problème bi yàgg la. Gars yi ngeen dem ñëw fii la ko expliqué ñoom ñaari maa ngi fi woon that so time moo la government war na taxaw. ne lii waaye nañu jëm koo adresse jëm koo waxtaan seen naka la waaye soo gisee students yi génn ne ñoom ñii dem bëgg pour gars yi del si ñëwaat despite loolu bi waxul loolu waaye ñoom tam am neen raay ne kii dafa war a ñëw yu bëri mu ngi xew si dëkk bi fii yaa ngi ko protest te nekku si loolu bi nga neexul leen boo di leadership il faut nga jéem a bàyyi sa xel mooy sa tànka bu mu bëri si palais
MC boobu moom maa tas waay
si bëree rek ñu ngi wax de course mu ngi dugg mais démba am na sa benn wax boo wax démba gis naa ko wasam gaay ñu ngi ko bina bëggoon naa laa kool sax because di woon ne bu leen nangu stress bu leen nangu ñu manipulate leen that language boobu because kenn manipulate benn opposition bokku si kenn bokku si sëriñ si ñoo feel like ne seen lecture si li leen dismiss
you understand my
point moo gisee di word manipulate
that is why
external forces
waaw external forces parce que xam nga moo gisee loolu ma ne waaw suma boy xam naa external forces amul fenn su war na am
But it might not be external forces, but even within, the manipulation can happen within.
No, I can even answer
that
question.
Be external
what I mean by external factors.
You will clarify.
So dama bëgg ñoom ñu xool the interest of the students.
Definitely.
loolu mooy number one soo gisee ñu elect da nga dem congress da nga jaay agenda da nga pare pour defend leen not the interest of the government or the staff association students la loolu mooy sa rule no matter benn story bu génne sax am lu ko naxari yow dafa war a naxari kenn su génnee ne man lii neexul ma yow si war a bokk because bala nga dialogue yi yéen a war nañ ñi kiy lead protest bi bu ko benn yeneen leen bypass waxu leen ñu ngi dismiss gars yi bu ko nit ki soo ko dismiss instantly dafa war am replacement war a toog yéen ngay request ne
that's a failure. That's a huge
failure. Because du ma génne Dudu Ja rek Boja dafa war a ñëw. ne génneen Dudu Ja Boja step in na dem na continuer laa ñu continuer waaye kon yéen dinañ bàyyi ma loolu sax daf leen war a naxari waaye négociation si dafa war a tegu si yoon. peut être seen union sa rôle du ko ndaw de yow su la neexee tey daga université jàng du am. so su la neexoon tey jàng du am dafa nga toog ne te kan dem school. waaw so sa rôle warul laa jël di la fulus loo di la wane kaay seen texte comment how we astiraw texte.
non
yow doon texte
it's through protocol.
even call sax woto mun a am.
protocol.
yow war na jël si ak moto.
ak waaw.
seriously.
Right. One thing is clear, Mr. Manjang. The entire panel is not here to make your work small. We just want to get it done. And we did not receive the revelation from God, and that is circles and Christmas must happen. No, it's our thinking. We could be wrong. The fact that you bold enough to come to sit on this seat is just a win for you. Okay? But I want to look a bit more on the leadership aspect. Right? So that I learn and you learn. You see, I believe 100% that the Union of University of the Gambia, in this instance, has totally failed. There is no partial failure. And I will take you to. You agree or not, I will take you to. You see, leadership is connection. And this connection must be social, emotional, influence. Now, how do you get influence? Is the connection. That's why I put that. Emotionally, the student union is not intelligent. That's what we call emotional intelligence. When you are leading and you have somebody who is aggrieved, you don't join the party that he perceived aggrieved him. That's not leadership, that's management. Leadership is change, management is stability. What you people did yesterday, I followed the entire press conference, and you were not happy, I can see that. What you did was stability. That's what management do. That connection can be maintained, can grow if you maintain that connection, then you will have influence.
Sure.
That's why MC said, because you're a member, union member, has even decided to snub you, technically. I'm dressing up, I'll get back to you. Meaning he's avoiding you. You don't have influence over him. Now, and allow me, no, we are learning. Now, I'm talking not because I'm on the panel, no. Management is something that you do. It's part of the normal university thing. So we know it. Now, what we're trying to explain is this. If I were you, what I saw yesterday was management. There is difference between leadership and management. Leadership is change, connection, influence. Management is stability. Decor. That's what we also said here. Or the constitution said this, because that's what leaders do. You see, when politicians are on the campaign trail, they are leaders. That time, they don't look no constitution. But when now they are in the position, they now have management. They now know constitution. That's what you do. I'm telling you from a leadership perspective. Now, when I saw, I said, no, they missed it. Because what you're doing is not leadership, it's management. The student needed leaders at that time. So what he told you is the right thing. You see, sometimes leaders take certain positions not because they actually believe that is the right thing. No. But they have something bigger, which is you are being voted for something, which is the student welfare. This dismissal and whatever of Dr. Giver implicitly or explicitly affects the welfare of the students.
Exactly.
There is no way you can dissociate yourself from that. So what you do, I'm not saying you did that, I'm just trying to, those are times. What I believe you people should have done is they have decided to go ahead with the protest. You try to engage them, it's not possible. Don't join or don't go to these meetings of State House or so. Not out of disrespect to the office, which we all respect, but you have something also to protect. And that is your union. And that is what the influence that you need. The government of the Gambia or whichever authority needs you to have influence over the students. They need that. If you don't have it, the government would not need you. Because they know, oh, Manjang, he has, oh, no, this guy will not be able to. Unless I don't even call you for meeting. They will look for somebody else. Because all they need is for you to have influence. Now, in your interest and that of the university, you should have tried to grip that influence by emotionally being intelligent. Be part of them. We understand. You could have even be part of the protest and still calming your people. That you know, if you understand. And you see, I'm here. Please, can you please allow me? Give me time. Let me talk to these officers. Give me time. They would listen. They say, ah, he has come. He's here with us. But he wants us to give him space. That is my perspective. I'm not saying that's what you should do. But that's what I understood from leadership. So it will be, oh, it's not constitutional. That will be a matter for the court, as you put it. You know, you have decided to take certain side conveniently. Certain side, you say you are not a legal luminary. Now, that's why we are telling you. That issue of constitution will be now at the court. But if you were there, a lot of these problems will be fixed. Why? They will not see a divided student union. You are only a student union and a student leader if you have a united. As we speak, in my management perspective, there is nothing like leadership because it's about influence. Yes, you may.
Were the other members of your union executive members there or none of them?
I've not seen none of them.
None of them.
Because
Yes.
my vice
Probably
president.
it was agreed as a whatever.
My vice
that
president.
But from their press conference, they said.
No, he's not there for the protest. He was there for the grades issue. Because
No, Vice there, he was accused of, reporting the students. He was seeing inside. Actually, the student accused him of
the number of
reporting them.
they can accuse him.
Yeah, that one I was like, no, I don't think the guy would have those powers.
Visit some of their students in Amon Tiaga,
At the hospital? When they were hospitalized, did you visit them in their homes, hospital?
No, they
did you
didn't.
have contact? With the students that were affected by the tear gas?
That were taken to hospital.
At the hospital.
They were taken to the hospital and
But you
discharged.
were not there. You were not at the hospital.
Did you pay for their bills? Did you see them after? Did
No,
you
I don't pay. I don't pay. In previous occasions where students have accidents, because not long ago a student had an accident at Faraba.
You did that?
I did that at
This one?
Brikama Hospital. But this one I do not.
Did you go to their families? Did you go to the hospital? As a union?
As a union.
Yes.
I understand.
That's the connection.
I did that unless and until you know me as an individual. And leadership, to be honest with you, comes with
Not you individually.
leadership.
You should have time to respond to all of them.
All right.
Okay. I'm going now.
Yeah. So what I think.
I forgot my.
Yeah. What I think is, it's a learning point for all of us.
Sure.
Try as much as possible as a union to see how you engage these concerned students. I know you have tried. I understand that.
We will.
Yeah. We are politicians.
It's a continuous thing.
We will.
They tell us things. We follow. Even your person, we follow them. But I saw something that I realized in your press conference.
We also follow.
I know very well. So what happens is, there was something like replacement that you even said you were not even aware when they were replacing these people, as you have confirmed that. They did not even tell you that they are replacing these people.
You mean replacing?
Replacement, no, dismissal, you don't know. I understand that. Replacement, where you contacted that these people are replaced and this is the arrangement with the timetable? That was something that I think you have made.
We had a meeting and it was confirmed by the dean and the HOD at that time during the meeting that these two lecturers are the identified lecturers taking the course and they have started before us and the leadership of Ecomansa.
Now, when I was watching your press conference, I said there is a breakdown of communication of channels.
Yeah. That needs to be worked on.
Yes. What I saw from your press conference was the union was more or less the alpha and then the omega at decision making. They usually would now decide, borrowing your term, would decide things
That's not my term.
that are not informed based on the grassroots. Because what I saw was this: if Ecomansa really has influence within the BPA or this thing, School of Public Administration, whatever, I think these concerned students would have not cropped up.
Okay.
Because there will be a way, allow me, my feeling is what I'm saying, you come. There will be a way that you absorb these students. Leadership is not about convenience. It's about getting your critics to follow you. Those that actually don't feel the way you feel. But you must first see them so that they can see you.
Sure.
That I did not see. I'm not saying it never happened.
Okay.
Now that would have helped you.
Sure.
Again, I would encourage, we are saying we have discussions. You are an authority and an independent authority for that matter.
Sure.
As far as the university systems are concerned.
Sure.
This issue of we had a meeting, they told us, try to discourage it. They should be writing it. In all cases, I know they write.
No, they wrote.
The
meeting.
lecturers
We had a
that
meeting.
this lecture is replacing this and this. Did they write?
Yes, of course.
You filter that down
To
your students.
no, the affected school and the students concerned, the leadership of Ecomansa is the one directly in touch with them. In fact, the class reps, to understand how far they've gone with this, two provided lecturers for them. You understand? Until you understand, everything was fixed. Everything was fixed until this last Thursday, last week Thursday, that the lecturer that's supposed to take that class, said he cannot because it collided with his other goal. But everything was, and this was confirmed by the leadership.
My last point.
Thank you.
My last point.
See, that is even a lapse because the management that is that has contacted him or decided to use that lecturer to take over this dismissed order should have known what that lecturer teaches, whether there is time to accommodate extra, not to put it on him and for him to come back after days to say, oh, I cannot do it because there is a conflict. That is also another lapse on the management. That shouldn't have been your problem or Ecomansa's problem. Ecomansa, right?
Yeah.
Ecomansa, or even the lecturer himself to say, I cannot, because they should have been able to have that conversation to see the guy's timetable and to know that, well, based on your timetable, you are qualified, you are competent, and your time allows for you to take over that for us to close the gap.
But
That's another thing.
this guy has been taking the course.
My last point.
He has been taking the course.
The internal mechanisms at the University of the Gambia are not enough. That is why we are seeing all these problems. And I believe a lot of emotion is put into things instead of competence, intelligence, leadership. That's what I see when I sit outside as an observer, not an insider.
Sure.
Now what happens is this. I want this to be clear as a student leader.
Sure.
That the students of the University of the Gambia are Gambians and non-Gambians. What is wrong? Whether within the university, within any other department or outside, they have the say, they can have the say. In the case of, because I understand this for the people, it's not our purview, it's not our jurisdiction, it's not this, it's this. You see, Myanmar we are talking about. Who here has a grandfather from Myanmar?
No one.
Myanmar.
Yeah, Myanmar, whatever you call it. Burma.
The Rohingyas.
You have somebody there. So this is the issue. All of you have seen that. What I have read from Dr. Giba, Matan, and when they came here, and my little engagement with Prof when he sat here, I understand that they post all these things that these people were talking about. They don't even want to talk about it. And they are so emotionally attacked. Otherwise, from your narration, you can see, even your right is denied. And this right is university denied or governing council denied. Because you are on this thing. Our members of parliament nominated, they tell them, go out, and then the parliamentarians that are elected, they talk. Where does that make sense?
They have the same right.
Now, you can understand that when they are doing that to you, there is high possibility they did this to Dr. Giba, Matan, and other people. Denying them their right because they are in position. Now, if their employment is not your problem, but the injustice and the things that they think would make the university better are things that they are advocating for, it makes you responsible as well, because it has to do with student welfare, generally. That is why my position was, it is not about their Dr. Giba in person or Professor Mata saying no, but it's about what they are fighting for, which is the highest learning institution. It has to do with injustice that they think is matter to them and other people. Now, as a student union, the best way to help the Gambia would have been to side with those that are pointing these issues out so that we get them fixed. That is your role. Your role is not for University of the Gambia alone, but it is for Gambia, for posterity. That is how I see it.
Okay.
You are confining yourself to constitutional mandates, we understand.
No.
But I think
Yes.
to get the university fixed is your goal.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Mr. Boya.
Thank you. Do come. Yes. What la reaction?
Well, the lafta fola. The primary objective of university, ka karangoke. And on the what may come, woman yana kuntula. From government, from the university management, to the student leaders. Wol nyanta jela ko karango. Ne aje molka kodojo ka taje nyanta karandal. Along replacement of teachers, nga karandiro kele. For 7 years, I lectured IT and ICT. When I first started, that was in 2006, the first class I handled, there was a student, when their class was done, he decided to stay over. He asked me, Mr. Jha, I said yes. He says, can I stay in your class? I said yes. If there is any space, you may do so. He was not part of my class. But little did I know that he wanted to observe my teaching method and techniques compared to his own teacher. I allowed him to stay. In the midst of the lectures, he says, Mr. Jha, I want to appeal. Can I join your class? And I asked, why? He said, I was teaching Microsoft Word by then. He says, I did Word, by then he was doing Excel. But the way I see you teach your students is very different from the way we were taught. I allowed him. Yeah? Replacing a lecturer, it's okay. But the lecturer being replaced, would they deliver us of that one? We all go to school, we all graduate. But when it comes to wisdom, we're not at par. And when it comes to teaching methods, sometimes you have to develop that technically by yourself. Like me, in any class that I handle, I know there are fast learners and slow learners. How do you combine the two? That is my technique. So that's why any class I can handle. So the essence of university, students must learn. Why do you need to emphasize of that? They leaders of this country. We look into the young people that they're taking over this country. Now, these challenges sometimes even would traumatize students. And at whatever may happen, they should not allow that. And again, a word of advice. The staff association should not be exempting you as a member of that council to excuse in certain issues. You should be there to advise on matters, especially what would affect the students. There is nobody in a better position to advise them on what needs to be done than you. But having you been excused, whatever decisions they might take might not be the best because you have direct contact with the students. And as a leader, communication is important. But effective communication is what sums up a good leadership. And as a leader, whenever you speak, you should be able to move the people. Like this protest being planned, you could have intervened and said, okay, let's leave the protest and do A, B, and C, and the students will follow. If they feel or understand that their rights or their interests and welfare has been emphasized, is being met, they will definitely flow with the leadership. But at times, when you handle leadership position, you become in between, where you have to take sides, not practically or verbally, but mentally. Sometimes you take sides without uttering word. And how that is judged is the actions that are taken afterward. Where do you find yourself? That to you might be something wise, but people from outside would come, not only accusation, but they will reach to judgments based on what was done. What I am saying is, you go to our neighboring country here in Senegal, security forces don't enter their universities. Our authorities should respect the university as an institution of learning, not to even enter to intimidate students, rather to use tear gas on those students who had no weapons. I, as a lecturer, I had a student who was a soldier at Fajara Barracks. There was a day he came to class in full JS, in full uniform, and he said, Mr. Jha, I am really sorry that today I have to come to class in full uniform. I downplay and says, no, don't worry if it's nothing. He says, yes, of course it's something. The uniform is very intimidating. No matter what happens, when you engage into dialogues, it should be a win-win situation. But it must not be on one side of the scale and the other it's ignored. Because I read the press release from the police saying that a section of the students, they had a dialogue with them and they had an agreement, but the other section, they are not in agreement. You don't call that a dialogue. Students are students. The entire university are
what you can call a student union. So how did they reach to agreeing with some and others did not agree? I find it very difficult to understand that, and you can't call that a dialogue. You rather call that a negotiation, not a dialogue. Dialogue must be a win-win situation. If a dialogue was reached upon, then the protest would not have occurred on Monday. But what I am concluding to say is learning. I'm not focusing even on teaching, because sometimes the staff association will protect their interests and neglect that of the students. Now, the students, the leadership is you people. You're there for the students. These are times when you must not agree with everything that the staff association would tell you or would want to push you to. You should always, no matter what, take sides with the students. You also have an interest that you need to protest. That is what? Quality education and learning should be a continuous process, no matter what happens. It must not be jeopardized, because this is the future. The staff association have already graduated. They're enjoying their monthly salaries, allowances, bonuses, and whatever. But the students are in the process. You don't equate the two. At all costs, stand with the students and defend their interests and welfare, as it is stipulated in your constitution, without compromise. That's when your leadership authority would be recognized and you'll enjoy the support of majority of the students, rather than the union being divided. If you continue to have divisions, I don't see the need of maintaining that name union. The name union should be well understood. Yes.
Togetherness. Togetherness. Oneness.
Yes.
In your response also, can you include, because I saw the police have issued a statement taking responsibility for the tear gas that was...
That should not have happened.
No, it should not have happened. It should not happen. You understand? Taking the responsibility of the tear gas and the person has been identified, disciplinary, whatever. But the reason why I brought it up, I have never seen in the history of this country a protest happen, tear gas dispersed, or they beat people and the police comes out to take responsibility and said it was done and we know it was wrong.
And you apologize.
We apologize.
And somebody, let me come. Another thing I saw. No, listen. Allow me a minute. Another thing I saw in the video, it's when the students climb up the stairs to reach to the vice chancellor's office. Yeah. And the PIU use force like beating them, pushing them down.
Push them with
You
force.
don't do that.
Yeah.
People could fall over. It could even cause death or serious injuries.
Yeah, crowd control.
Crowd control.
Crowd control is our problem.
They were demanding for him to come out and speak to them, or they wanted to give him something.
No. Now, listen, when you want to do crowd control, the crowd that is down, you try to create a barrier. Yeah. Push them away, and you should be able to negotiate with those that are on the stage to come down, not forcefully, not forcefully. And throwing tear gas into or to any crowd is not crowd control. Crowd control is closer to them to move them away, but not to throw tear gas inside or within the crowd. You don't call that crowd control.
Against the police.
But we're having press conference.
No.
Yeah.
We have condemned the police.
You have condemned it.
They will write a statement indicating that what was done was wrong and that they are saying massa to the students.
No, if you...
And that they even would want to investigate entirely and sue the Gambia police for
No suing.
Before I started the press conference, you go there. I saw a massive, solidarity and a deep concern to our brothers and sisters who went through the tear gas. You can go to the records; it's there. That shows that no matter the consequences, I am still with the students. Only God knows. If you know me very well, and if you go and check me on Monday, the situation that I was is completely different. Because it is a matter of now, should I go there? Will the matter be solved? Or will the matter be aggravated? That is a conflict that I had, on Monday. Because the level...
Going back to Bojan, it speaks to the leadership.
Yes.
Because these are moments that you are, what do I do? And whatever you need to do has to serve the interest of the majority. And that should have been
And if you talk about majority, we have to look at quantity. We now have a number of, we have 10,000 university students. As the new moving to Faraba, the number has increased. Then it was 7,200 and something as the enrolled students within the university. And if you talk about majority, then, you to quantify, are these 500 students, we are talking about 10,000. I
6,000.
you understand? So if you look at this, is a faction of students, and I respect their view.
Yeah.
They utter whatever they wanted. In fact, they insulted me outright. That is leadership for you. I could have reacted to some of them, or I could have attacked some of them, because I am a human being.
Yeah.
And I have emotions. But I allowed them, because this is not my first time of leadership in the university. I've served in different capacities, and my last position was the vice president of now the biggest school in the university in terms of population. That shows that my leadership that, ranked me to the union is not as a result of bad leadership, and it's not as a result of standing by the side of the students at all costs. I developed enmity within the central government and the university management for protecting the interests of the students. And nobody is taking that from me. I am facing that reality, and I am facing that challenge. But that is leadership for you. Our professional and our personal relationship cannot come together. And I always tell those responsible for policies that, I am here in my capacity as the president, not Nyaninka Manjang. You understand? If you want to deal with Nyaninka Manjang, go and meet me in Bijilo. But as far as I am within the University of the Gambia, I am now passing the interest of this matter could have been resolved, I believe, before the students going out. And this is not our wish. If you ask any of my council members, none of them is happy, because these are our in fact, these are our close brothers and sisters. Close. I'm not talking about students that, may know you as the union president. But because we understand, if you know the dynamics of university, election is April, is fast closing, approaching. I don't want to say everything. So
there's
here.
politics involved.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
Your last time.
My tenure ends on April. I started my journey in April, so it's 1 year. April, if you took position,
so it's a campaign.
No, I am not saying
you can go for another term.
You can apply for another position 2 times, but you cannot go beyond 2.
No, that's what I said. But as a president, this is just 1 term.
Yeah,
1 term.
Yeah.
And then in April,
no, it's 1 year, 1 academic year.
That's what I'm saying. 1 academic year, but you can go for another academic year.
In a different position.
That is if you meet the requirements, because the law says so you must be left with at least 2 semesters.
You cannot vie for
so if you are not left with 2 semesters, even if you want to vie, you will not. Because the law is here. And there is certain GPA that you should meet.
There's one important thing. You have not mentioned the police statement and whatever. What also has necessitated that?
That is why I'm coming.
Okay, go ahead.
I am really fighting together with my council on student service every day.
Okay.
We put it to the stakeholders, especially with senior government officials, that even propelled to the investigation. And as we speak, the police officers that, threw tear gas onto the students are being investigated. And right now they are in a very funny situation of being dismissed from the service. For that one, we do not compromise with that. Regardless of coming to the students for us to go and move as a union, but still, their interest is our priority, whether good or bad. We put it to them that our students cannot face the consequences of, being tear gas, whether it is accidentally or, intentionally. We cannot allow that. And that propelled, because we told them that, they must investigate onto the matter. And they now come to the public. Their security advisor was there. The interior minister was there, though the IGP was not there. But, I believe the security advisor.
They came to the university.
No. During the meeting.
We had a meeting yesterday.
During the meeting.
At State House.
All the stakeholders.
So, you guys had a meeting yesterday, and this was put to them.
I put it as a concern.
Okay.
That
was the minister at the meeting?
Interior minister.
No, Minister of Higher Education.
Yes, of course.
And the Vice Chancellor was there?
Yes. Every stakeholder was there.
Was the Chancellor there?
Huh?
Was the Chancellor there?
No, the president was not in attendance.
But
that's what I'm saying. I know the
Yeah.
president is a gentleman. So was the president there? No.
No, the
So
president
was
is
the- was
represented by the
deputized
vice
both of
president.
them cannot be
Yeah.
So
present.
it was there that you guys put it to them that what they did was
I
you
put
condemned it,
yeah.
and then out of that they came out to take responsibility and open
Yeah.
an investigation.
And in fact, they promised that they will investigate the matter. And since my justice minister is a police prosecutor, he engaged me to say, Mr. President, those police, or PIU officers are currently sitting, in a very tight situation whereby they can even be dismissed. That shows that, our position is being heard and our position is respected as far as the welfare of students on this matter is concerned. And we are deeply sorry of what happened. Though, I think the matter could have been resolved, like several speakers alluded here, in giving opinions as to what we can do. We are a union that is very open in terms of, suggestions, opinions. In fact, sometimes I am literally in all pages. Students will criticize constructively, and I will note it down.
That's what.
But some will criticize emotionally.
Of course, it was.
Unless and until we divert these two. Because you have a personal agenda. You want to propel your agenda. I think the most important thing, the union belongs to all of us. And I am not the owner of the union. I am entrusted to husband the affairs. Tomorrow another person will come. I remember when the issue of moving to Faraba, we will not move, moving to Faraba, we will not. We had a press conference. And we make sure that we follow everything.
You were the president then?
No. Then I was vice president of my school.
Okay.
So the Humanities and Social Science, SOSA, School of Humanities and Social Science. Then I rose to the rank of presidency this year. But every year, and this is what I put to the government, that we cannot continue every year another problems upon problems. Because last year, it was the issue of we are not going to Faraba unless everything is settled at Faraba Bantan campus. And this time around, it is now the issue of staff dismissal. And one thing that I must put to the records.
And it was also the issue of the bosses as well.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, let me ask you, in the history of the university, since you've been there, is this the first time you have professors or lecturers being dismissed from their service? Is this the first time you have these two people? Or it has happened before?
Though I am not in government by then, but you realize that, there were several issues that happened in the university, like grade tampering issues. And
lecturers dismissed. Did it happen?
No, for as far as I remembered, I can only confirm this one because I have to check on the record.
Okay, so I want to, you people also threatened yesterday during your press conference that
Threatened.
Yes, it was a threat because they said it's either
in
this,
sociology they call what is they say
what is
threat
because
it's
they are
perspective.
saying it's either you make these conditions or it's either you make these conditions.
No, we are sociology
in the midst of politicians.
no.
So you leave sociology out.
So you said
academia.
What did they say?
threats.
You see,
They
she's
had
curious to know.
Academia.
10 demands. They said they had a meeting at State House yesterday and they said these demands has to be met or you are going to take action. And according to you people, you said the suspension of, you want the lecturers on strike to return. That didn't happen. That is one. Just let me come. Let me finish. You said the suspension of assignments for students impacted by the dismissed lecturers. That is the second demand. Okay? You said the restoration of missing grades on the portal before exams resumes. Right? The inclusion of students without access to bus services and the ministers, Banjul and Kombosa.
That has been our challenging point.
Yeah, and the minister said that they are not going to increase the buses.
Yes.
In fact, this might stop in the future.
But yesterday, another new direction was.
Okay. Yeah. So you also said, yes, the liberalization of food market for vendors in Faraba. You want to liberalize
the issue of food.
You say early clearance of for students,
more harsh beneficiaries and more
access to the UTG portal for faculty officers
in order to upload grades.
Yes,
because it will then decentralized.
As well as improvements in students' health and safety. We also want internet connectivity. That is the 10th one, internet connectivity.
Yeah.
You said
There's no
this is
internet? There's no internet?
There is. What we mean by to improve the capacity,
capacity
Yes,
on the campus.
and you said if this is not met, you people are going to take action
on Friday.
this Friday.
Yes.
Interesting.
What
So
actions? What actions?
yes, what action are you
They'll
going to
keep it
do?
for now.
But before that,
I support that.
I am censored. I am censored and coded on this matter. Perhaps everyone is watching me. But you know, there are certain things you have to keep people in limbo. That is the public. But what we had during our meetings, one of it is for the lecturers to resume. And lecturers, you can go to the records. The Staff Association released a presser that they will resume back to work today. I can serve you with it, which means one of our agenda has been met. The issue of,
They issued it after your press conference.
Indeed.
Or after the meeting.
No, our press
but they did
conference.
not resume.
So now,
Because I saw a lot of university students wrote on their statuses that, we are in school, there is no lecturer.
then who breached the contract now? Because they had a meeting this morning.
And
After
they agreed.
sharing that message that they will resume back to work.
But that's fundamentally wrong.
Yeah.
The press conference in the first place should have not been held by you alone if there is a resolution that you, the union and staff association have.
You could have invited them. Yeah, that would have been a very
joint
good
press.
Yes,
Yeah,
but
so that they can-
Can I comment to that?
Okay.
At this point in time, there is unfriendly environment between the staffs and the student government. In my view, I believe
Due to?
perhaps these situations,
Okay.
because
you believe that you should not fight for the staff association, and you say it openly.
It's all about interest after all.
You said that
yes, and that is why to me joining
But
was.
the thing is, because suma here. Loma.
We have to be fair.
No, but here, the students are more in need. The students are more in need. I've said it here. Of staff association, I'm not even ñom lu ñoo jëm fight rek moy li leena yokka ñom.
No.
Why whatever affects them will affect these people.
Yes.
But whatever might affect the students.
Without them also, they will not be in
No.
And this is where I will give you people a glimpse of that we are inseparable. You think the staff or the university senior management will operate without the students?
No.
Central among the university's resources is coming from the student tuition fees.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
And the staffs are going, at the end of the day, they are paid with salary from the vice chancellor to, I don't know if you get my point.
Of course we do.
And therefore, you think if students are not important, to say that now, we want the university to close down. And if university is closed, at this point in time, I know the lifeblood of university's operation entirely lies in the hands of our tuition fee.
Exactly, we agree.
So now,
that's the reason we said that you should not be exempted from those meetings that they take decisions.
And again,
the decision, now, there is the governing council do not include the university student rep on the decision taken by two dismissed lecturers. But also, the staff association from onset do not even entertain having the student union rep in some of these decisions. Both parties do not involve the union on their matters.
You should add this to your resolution.
Exactly.
Yes.
Thank you very much. And I will take note of that.
Yes.
So if you look at, they release a presser that they will resume back to work in both the academic and administrative. And which we, in fact, had to write a dispatch to say lectures and administrative matters will resume tomorrow. That is today. And today, they had a meeting.
And they decided not to.
To reverse back again.
And they leave you a very funny position.
So and now, you see.
But who says to the vice president that tomorrow will not resume? Who says that? Who says to your boss that tomorrow we are not going to resume? And who people actually,
you face the vice president.
Yeah, when you are frank at State House,
maybe that is
no.
It could not
No, keep some in the bag. Keep some in the bag.
I would have said,
You can say
I'm not going to do it. What I did.
Don't allow politicians to push you to say something you're not supposed to say. Keep it in the back.
What I did in that stakeholder meeting, until you know our position, and then we went up to a certain point. The security advisor will have to threaten me that you are in the highest republic. Cool down your emotion. I was to a certain point to match.
That was also
You get angry? You get angry?
Of course, why not?
He's a stubborn person.
That was a good advice from the security advisor.
One thing, all our demands, in fact, if you look at the issue of transportation, the agreement between MOHAS and GTSC was 20 buses. That is the contract agreement. And as the law will say, pacta sunt servanda is a Latin. An agreement must be respected. And when GTSC tried to deploy 15 buses, we are taking notes, we are recording through my gender, technical and logistics minister. And we realize that these people are not deploying the entire 20 buses. We raise a flag. And we engage the university senior management with the MOHAS officials to GTSC that if they do not deploy the entire 20 buses, we gave them ultimatum. That Friday you did not do this until Friday, Monday we are going.
Okay, so I can answer so at the meeting.
Yes.
So
the Monday, the entire 20 buses was deployed with fully AC.
The time is.
No, but logistically, they should have even make it 21 or 22 to have standby in case of any technical
issues.
issues.
This is what we propose, that at least we need buses for our brothers and sisters from
at the yesterday
and Banjul.
Okay.
But what they told us that the contract document, GTSC said the contract document is 20. For them to add, these two parties now need to revisit the contract document. Which will take time. And which is not even
not possible. The minister said it's not possible. The minister said that.
Exactly.
The possibilities are there if we value our education.
I agree with GTSC. You have a contract 20. They gave you 20. If you want more, that thing has to be reviewed and agreed and amended.
What I am saying, the minister saying is not possible.
Besides that, I'm telling you, it's
this
okay,
statement should not be uttered.
No, the minister is even saying that in the near future they might even scrap
They have budgetary constraints.
They might even scrap it.
18 million is paid for every semester.
I know. See, we're out of time, right? But what I want to say.
I just want to finish.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm on the issue of transportation, or let's say grades issue in particular, because this has also, affect, a lot of students who wish to graduate from the university for other life opportunities. So we put it to them that, the issue of bureaucracy is really affecting, because the faculty officers do not have the luxury or the power now to upload the grades from their schools. Instead, it is at the Senate. So, and this is affecting the students. And now our resolution is passed, to the stakeholder engagement, and we put it as a demand now. Understand? Sometimes it's good for one problem to persist, so that you can amalgamate and include certain, factors in it. So the issue of transportation, you now see that, okay, since the high Minister of Higher Education said they cannot increase, but now they are bit completion in the area of, considering, because what we told them is that the people coming from Combo South, Banjul, because we have students coming from Banjul to Faraba, and they will have to come all the way to Westfield. Why not we have 1 or 2 buses going to Banjul, and then maybe 1 or 2 buses going to Combo South to enable, mobility.
And
for
buses is one of the demands.
And
also, what happened? You don't have
the issue of health and safety.
Yes.
The food issue.
Yes.
Liberalizing, market vendors, food vendors in particular. We realize that, a lot of students go to university, Faraba Bantam campus, and where there is human interaction, there is need for basic needs, water, food, and electricity. So we put it to the management that, we need to at least attract vendors. You will control them, look into their health and safety before they come and sell to the student. Because currently, as we speak, the canteens that we have, or the cafeterias that we have, cannot provide for the students that are going to university. The quantity is lesser than the demand.
And others are not allowed to come.
And others are not. So we now put them, liberalize the market, control it, but open for competition to be put in place. If you have one selling bahal, which is my choice, I will always go to that with a reasonable price.
Yeah.
So that is also part of our demand. Health and safety, I can say 50% of it is solved. In fact, it is confirmed that an ambulance is now donated, which the union lobbied together with the management, is already in place, that according to the minister that is currently at the Riders for Health for maintenance, and they will hand it over to university. The university will now, but this was triggered during our ministerial town hall meeting with the Minister of Health, that Faraba Bantan campus is not conducive for students. And when there is human interaction, we need health and safety. Not only the ambulance, but also to have at least medical personnel. Because we have a sick bay. The union have a sick bay. A pharmacy. The union have a sick bay. But if I take you to our sick bay, you'll be disappointed. Because there is no...
a doctor there or a nurse?
Our gender and health minister is a trained nurse or a medical personnel. You understand? He's currently working on the Minister of Health. Okay? He understands some, but we cannot operate it because of resources.
He's a student.
He is a student at the same time.
So if he's in class, something happens, he has to leave class.
This is the problem. So now, that is the reason why we said it is important for the government to deploy staffs.
Exactly.
On sick basis.
But don't you think the time that you gave is too short? Friday.
What do you mean?
But he has said that he understands that some of these demands should be immediate, and some of them is long term.
There are some that
when you said at your press conferences, Friday is the last day.
Yes.
Yes. So that's what I'm saying. Don't you think that Friday is very short?
Yes, I am clearing that here to you, that we know all our demands cannot be met in a jiffy as soon as possible. That is completely out of it. Any logical person will understand.
Just like maybe the nurse to hire somebody and
exactly.
Equip
it will take time. But the issue of deploying ambulance, they confirmed that they've issued one ambulance. They are going to give one ambulance, to the university, so that health and safety, can be put in.
And what you're going to do on Friday, we don't want people to know. Okay.
They make it 2 ambulances.
University is big. So you say Lamunela. You can say anything.
Kormogen kamat. Ka amutol ka jox la ben. Te nga sant Yalla.
Wa su ko demé leneen happen.
Wa dem len dig bena. Len li dem te bena.
So is better.
Yeah, Sir Lamunela, if you want to say anything right now,
what is Sir?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Sara, ibe Sarala.
Sarala.
Your last final.
Well, Sir mo.
No, I said Sarah.
Okay. Sarah.
Yeah.
So I think all I need to say is most importantly the students, that let them work with us, no matter the situation. This is part of leadership.
You say you're speaking to the students now?
Yes, at this point in time.
Look at the camera and talk to them.
All right.
I'm not a student.
All right. Dear fellow students or comrades, we always call ourselves within the university, or folks, that as the union president, I always stand by you. And this has been manifested all over my leadership, from the vice president to other important positions within the university. I never think that you are alone. All I have to say is whatever we do, let us do it with good conscience, and we fight together. Because when we fight together, we achieve a lot. And therefore, that is going to help us as a union with our shared common agenda, with our aims and objectives to come into fully effect. But I will advise, we are law-abiding, or if possible, let us reason constructively and come in tandem with the union to make sure that we push the agenda of the collective interest of the majority, because fighting for the common good is what is my agenda and my executive council. And to the viewers, because I believe it is important that the Gambia belongs to all of us, and we have to move the Gambia in a way that will be prosperous, progressive, and sustainable. Because as Albert Einstein said, the only thing that will remain when our energy is no more is education. And education must be functional, It must be productive, and it must be sufficient and sustainable for the entire citizens of this country, so that our brothers and sisters that are coming into the university will not have to go through a lot of difficulties. And to the concerned students, my doors are open. I am not your enemy. You are not my enemies. And therefore we can dialogue, if need be, so that we can come into term and fight the battle that is ahead of.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So powerful, and I'm sure the students will listen.
President of the University of the Gambia Student Union. Of course, thank you so much for coming. I'm content about pour Canadian because mo jawal bu ka ni sila ni sira on.
Oh really?
Thank you so much for coming. But thank you. Barka bage pour Canada. Na sponsor bi tinduke jey bage care finder suñu kër LG mbafale ko thank you so much katara ñi programme ko mana technician Charles Elvis Ngom Mami Ngom Lamin Diallo aning Sire Drame ngi betindu ke je baki katara ñi programme ko ma aljuma na la lambe mura na ni ala kirita bye bye.
CareFinder is a real estate company that focuses on property development within the Gambia. We pride ourselves with providing not just quality and durable houses, but also state-of-the-art designs tailored to our clients' tastes and expectations. Our unique experience and expertise is second to none in the industry. We are currently building and selling 3-bedroom bungalows at Sukuta Traffic Lights and Jabang. We're also building and selling 3-bedroom story buildings at Sukuta Paradise. Other sites are also in the pipeline. With CareFinder, payment options are available. With just 40% deposit, you can get your house started. For more information, contact us on 329-5188, 727-0049, 709-8418. You can also check us out on Facebook and Instagram at CareFinder. With CareFinder, you are assured of a secure investment.